3,
2,
1.
1. And I have no idea if we're live or not, really. Oh, yeah, we are. We're totally live.
I'm sure we'll find out. People will start yelling at us any moment.
So no cussing for 30 seconds so that YouTube doesn't blacklist us and demonetize us and make us unsearchable.
Yeah, everybody. MLG, my basement.
Shoot.
By the way, guys, that actually is a real thing. Like YouTube actually told me, like, in the dashboard, when I was going through and answering questions for the new monetization dashboard thing that they have, it says, do you cuss or swear in the first 30 seconds of your video? And if you answer yes, they do limited monetization. But if you answer
they say
no,
cuss? Do they use the word cuss?
Yeah, it's or cuss or swear. It was one of the two. It's like if you say any curse or swear words in the first 30 seconds. Yeah.
Naughty words.
Naughty words. You naughty boy. Words.
Yeah.
So I've been watching some YouTubers lately that they've been kind of making fun of it. Like one of them, are we at 30? I think we're 30 seconds in, right? Yeah, no, we are. So boom, we're free. So yeah.
It's so funny. You always warn us, and then you're the one who's got to watch
out. Well, ask AuxxZillary. I was the one that used to say that we can't say the C word, right? The vid. And I would always do it. I'd be like, dude, you can't say that. And then I would say that word, and then boom, demonetized.
Wait a sec. You get so they were demonetizing like CVID stuff related stuff as well?
If you say the word CVID, they put a badge under your video that says go to the World Health Organization to get more information and then demonetize your video to prevent it from running any potential ads that could conflict with that. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think early on too, people were like, yo, watch this video, and it'd have like a million ads because you can say, oh, I've run an ad here, run an ad here, run an ad here.
Yeah.
And they were like, I'm going to donate all the ad revenue from this video to, different places and stuff. But that was technically a violation of the TOS. Like, you're not supposed to be farming ad revenue like that.
Right.
Yep. You're not allowed to tell people that they have to watch the ads. You're not allowed to tell people they can't skip the ads. There's so many freaking ruls that like 90% of the YouTubers break because they just never read the EULA. Like,
oh my God,
there's
I didn't know
a
any
lot.
of this stuff.
the channel I was talking about. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it. But the guy, he starts in like 30 seconds in the video. He's like, "Hey guys, I can't say," because he swears in every video. He's like, "Hey guys, I can't swear for 30 seconds or whatever." And he's like, looking at his watch, and he's like, "Okay, 30 seconds is almost up." And then he's like, "Fuck, piss balls ass," and the video stayed monetized. Like, I was like, nice. Man, that is just epic. I think the reason that they're doing it, though, is because YouTube has a preview feature where you can hover the mouse over and it'll play the first 30 seconds of the video on like smart TVs and stuff like that. As you're flipping through, it'll like show you like a preview. And I think they just don't want a bunch of swearing in the preview because, anybody can see the preview. But if you open the video, then that's more committal, right?
So that does make sense. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess there is some logic to it. But when I first saw it, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like going through the questionnaire. It's like, "Do you wear a green shirt?" Or could be could it be teal on a non-color corrected screen? Then we have to demonetize you. No, not really. But it was getting really, really granular. I was like, my gosh, how many people have found a way to squirm around your monetization rules where you have to be this on the nose?
God. Well, they've been like trying to hack that from day one. Like they've been gaming the system. I remember like a friend of mine did a whole video series, and all he did was like basically make them all sound like porn titles. So he'd get like tons of views, and then people would be like, "Hey, where's the fun bits?"
Yeah, actually, they had,
but it used to work.
Yeah, clickbaiting, right? Actually, it's a little different, right? Clickbaiting is getting somebody to click on your video and watch it, but by kind of implying that maybe the context is a little different, but it still matches up. Like, that's proper clickbaiting. Like when you clickbait somebody and you're like, "Oh my God, does my car explode?" And then at the end, the car doesn't explode. It just smokes a little. And you're like, "Oh, I got you." It's like, that's clickbaiting. What they were doing back then was like click nuking, like where you'd look at it and it'd be like a pair of boobs and it'd be like, "Ooh boy," and you'd be like, "Oh my God," I'm clicking on the title, would be like, "Oh my God, hottest girl in the world," and then you click on, it'd be like some kid playing Call of Duty for like 10 minutes, and you're like sitting there fast forward back and forth, like, "Where's the boobs? Where's the boobs?" You'd never
somewhere
see
in
them.
here,
you'd never see
somewhere
them.
in here. That's so old school too. That's so like growing up with movies where you have to fast forward to the good bits.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's like,
wasn't that a thing back in the day? Like I don't know if this was like a rumor or an urban legend, but somebody had told me, or maybe I saw this in a movie or something, but they were like splicing in single frames of porn. Into like
Fight Club.
Into films. Oh, was that Fight Club they were doing that? Did they ever do that in real life? Was that ever like a real life thing? The whole subliminal message thing?
They did actually do that. It was suggested in Fight Club, but they actually did that in Fight Club too. Like the actual movie, in certain spots, there is, or
like you can freeze frame it, right? And it's like a pornographic image, but for one frame, right?
Yep.
So you don't see it like when you're watching the movie live. It just looks like a flicker if you even notice it, but your brain
If
doesn't
you
have
even
time to
notice.
process what it saw.
I think it's illegal now. I think they made it illegal.
Oh, I would think so. That's
They were
Yeah.
playing with that. They were playing with that years ago, like back in the 70s. It was all the big subliminal stuff, and then filmmakers started using. I think Polanski used it as well. Maybe Kubrick. I think Kubrick might have as well.
I could totally
But again,
see Kubrick doing it. Like that sounds like a total Kubrick move.
Yeah, yeah. He's such a Kubrick.
He's such a Kubrick, man. No, you know what? I think that honestly, and no offense to you, David, being an actor, I'm gonna totally make you a pleb right here. I honestly think that like
it's offensive being an actor.
The directors are the weirdest people in all the production land. Like I don't think the actors or anybody hold a candle to them. Like when you talk about like the Kubricks and you got like who did Kill Bill? Quentin Tarantino. Like you got these people. It's like, my God, what is bumbling around in their heads to come up with this shit and to actually be able to tell other people to do it. Like you got to be like a special kind of crazy to stand up there and be like, you know what? I want you to dump 5 gallons of blood on you and gargle on it. Although there are some crazy actors too, like Leonardo DiCaprio is pretty crazy.
I feel like, or Daniel Day-Lewis, or any of those guys who like, lose 1,000, or my God, Christian Bale, Jesus, the guy loses like his entire body weight. His like heart's giving out because he wants to be thin like in the script it said gaunt. And he comes in, and the director says he came in, and he was like, the guy's like, he could barely sustain his own weight. What
was
Mechanic?
it? Joker. Was it Joaquin Phoenix? Was that the Joker?
Same thing.
Holy crap! When I first saw that in the theater, I cringed. I was like,
"Oh yeah,
dude, you have to literally be doing like organ damage to do this role. Like, there's no way anybody could get that thin and not have organ damage. Like,
so creepy. I'm just jealous, but I'm just jealous. It's like the Carpenters. You know that? What is the quote? You're just jealous,
right.
Dude. Could you imagine being that skinny though, where it's like you eat a hot dog and you like see it actually through your skin, like going down into your stomach, and it's like you had to like work it around with your hands to get it to go back in because it's just sticking out and it looks like somebody stabbed you with a spork.
Inside, that's who I am. Inside, I think of myself as a small, little skinny runt like I was when I was a kid.
You're thinner.
That's it. But in the mirror, it doesn't agree with me at all.
See, if I was in that movie, it wouldn't have been entertaining because they would have been like thinner, and I still would have been fat by the end of the movie, just less fat. I would have been like, hey man, I'm actually feeling like I go for a walk. Oh shit, backfired.
It's the weight thing is I mean, talk about eating disorders. I mean, that's where the film industry is fantastic for that. Like it always used to be. Man. It used to be, well, it still is the women, right? Because they're all supposed to be these like rail thin. Anyone who looks thin we just watched Tenet last night.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Is it good? Don't you ruin this for me, David. Lie to me. Lie to me.
In the same way that Tenet is the same backwards and forwards, I loved it and hated it.
Okay.
There was stuff that I was just like, I'm sure it's much smarter than I am, but some stuff, I don't care how smart it is, it just looks stupid. And things going backwards look stupid. It just takes you out of the movie. You're like, oh, what's like? It just doesn't.
It's like time travel.
Well, I won't say anything. Okay. But it's because you really do need to sort of. I think part of the fun is not knowing anything about it. But he has a few sort of like really cool camera stuff that he's doing, and I'm like, yeah, that looked great in a fucking music video. But in a movie, you're just like, wow, what's going? And then you're like, what did they just say? That's the other thing is like he's really big on like people are wearing masks a lot and stuff. I don't know why. Maybe because of COVID. I don't think so. But there was a lot of like face masks and stuff on, and you can't hear what they're saying. And apparently he's like, yeah, no, I wanted that, like because in the real thing you wouldn't be able to hear what they're saying. I was like, yes, you would. You'd have the freaking radios in your head or something. Like it's not. I don't know. And also the fact that he shot it on film. Don't even start me. I'm out. I just feel like I feel like directors get to a certain point and then it's like there's no one there to go like, dude,
right.
This doesn't make any sense. Like you're spending a shed load of money and you don't need to tell your story. Or even worse in this situation where he's like, I got to film it on film. Why? Why do you have to film it on film? It doesn't make any sense at all. why do you have to only show it in theaters during a pandemic? That's like, I'm like, screw you, Nolan.
I mean, that one kind of threw me off too. I was like, dude, like literally, if you guys want to see this awesome movie I've been teasing for years, you got to go into the vid pit. Like, no.
And I was awful. Like, because of that, I was like, I would stop the playback every so often to go like, this is just to annoy Nolan. I'm stopping it. I'm going to talk about the scene. I'm going to go back and I'm going to see that again because I can. And my wife is like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm pissing off Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, you call him up. You tell him.
Yeah, that's it.
The irony is you come out of it and you actually catch the vid and you're like, oh man, I wish I could go backwards like in the movie.
No, Baz and I were having backwards fights. It was really funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do want to see it, but I also like movies that are really weird.
See it. It's
like,
great.
I do like movies that I can't follow. The more I can't follow it, like the better it is for me for some reason. Like one of my all-time favorite movies, and a lot of people don't like it, is Memento. Have you seen Memento?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that is a brilliant. Yeah. Oh, if you haven't seen AuxxZillary, you got to watch it, dude. It's basically
a movie.
Seen it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's a movie about a guy who basically has like short-term memory loss. Like he has like he basically like I don't remember. I think he's in an accident or something, and he loses his memory, so he can't form short-term memories. So he tattoos shit on his body and notes and leaves notes for himself and everything to help him get through each day. And so I don't want to ruin the story, but in a nutshell, he basically just learns to lie to himself so that he can make himself happy and give himself a goal. But the movie is played from his perspective. So you don't know what he forgets and you don't know what he experiences through the movie. So the first time through, it's like massively confusing. Like the first time through the movie, you're like, honestly, the first time I ever watched it, I was like, at the end, I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, I kind of knew what happened, but I didn't really get it. And then the second time when I watched it through, then I was like, oh, this actually makes like perfect sense.
But, yeah, I mean, I think he's incredibly smart. I think he's an amazing filmmaker.
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes it's just I just feel like it just felt a little like out of touch somehow. Like it just felt like it was like, you know what it's like? It's like when musicians get so good that they start making music for musicians.
Oh, sure.
You know, and you're like, oh yeah, there's a million layers of this, that, and the other. And you're like, it sounds like shit. Like, it may be the most brilliantly complex music you've ever listened to, but it's, yeah. So that was, and again, I wouldn't say, look, I absolutely, everyone should watch it. Because it's like, seriously, like it's one of those.
I think you're okay, David. I doubt Christopher Nolan's watching this. Although, like in the future, you're going to apply for a role in one of his movies, and his background check's going to turn up this obscure tech talk with like 30 views.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sure I've done it to other people. But I love Dunkirk. I thought Dunkirk was great.
That was I think I watched that on an airplane. Wasn't that the one where it was all shot as like one continuous shot?
1917.
No, that was 1917.
Oh, that was 1917. Okay,
which was amazing.
Dunkirk was the one that had no dialogue, right? Like hardly anybody talked through the whole movie. It was just like some kid just like running around from like point to point and stuff blowing up, and there wasn't a lot of dialogue. Or is that something else I'm thinking of?
I think that may be 1917.
Okay, I think 1917 is what I saw on the airplane. Then I thought that was a good movie. Though. It was like I've never watched a movie before with ADHD that had like 3 words in it and held my attention the entire time. So I was pretty impressed by that.
It was pretty neat. I mean, it was. My thing is, I love films. Right? I love them. I love watching films, even bad films. But I think, I feel like there's a, I don't know. Maybe it's because of COVID and stuff. I feel like there's this detachment that the film industry's always had. That's become. It's like the rich and the poor have suddenly become much further apart in the Hollywood industry as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Which is why I loved Tom Cruise for his rant. They called it a rant. I was like, that's not a rant. Like that's.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen Tom Cruise flip his shit, but yeah, it's serious stuff. And especially when it's like, I think Mission Impossible is like his thing now. Like it's like he owns the IP or something.
Like so it's like he's in is like, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, this is you're all here because I'm putting this together, and if you guys aren't going to follow the rules, and it sounded like that kind of thing doesn't happen the first time. This has had to have been a repeated issue. Nobody just blows up the first time. Like he didn't just walk in and be like, "What the fuck is going on here today?" Like it had to have been.
He was strained.
The last
definitely
straw
strained,
kind of thing. Yeah, come on. I mean, as crazy as he is, he's not that bad, right?
Trying to make movies in a pandemic, like the only reason the film industry is up and running here, for example, is because we've got COVID protocols that allow us to do that. If you don't do that, like I've seen I've had to tell people around the trailers and stuff to like take that cigarette somewhere else. I'm like, you don't stand around smoking on set with your mask around your neck while we're in COVID protocols. It doesn't make any sense. Oh my God, I'm in like rant mode today. What is this?
No, it's because I'm here. I'm giving off a weird thing this December where I just make everybody a little sassy and angry. It's something in my pixels. Tom Cruise pulled a Batman. Chent said, no. Two completely different things.
Like that.
So Christian Bale blew up because a dude literally was just like walking around on the set while he was giving his lines, and he just
was
went
doing
like
his job.
Yeah. So he went like completely aggro on the guy and the guy was like, didn't know that he did anything wrong, was completely apologetic, and Bale's like, oh, fuck you, it doesn't matter, shut up, I don't want to hear you, you're fired, get the fuck out of here. I mean, he was like, Tom Cruise was like, you motherfuckers keep breaking the protocol, like, you know the protocol, you're here to do the protocol, like, this is why we get to shoot here, because they're not shooting in the United States, they're shooting in the UK, so they have to follow the rules. The production will literally get shut down. It has been shut down. So they're like, follow the damn rules. So you can tell that this was something that he'd been fighting for a while to get him to do, and somebody just caught it on, video or caught it on audio.
And it's not selfish. Like, the reality is, if he gets sick, if he tests positive for COVID, they're down. They're all out of a job. Like, they're all screwed. So,
absolutely.
I mean, you forgot your Santa hat.
Forgot my hat.
Damn it. Thank you, Kenneth D.
Kenneth D is giving us the D. Thank you for the $10 US, and good morning, afternoon, guys. Just wanted to stop by and show some love this busy Saturday. Where's Santa Aux? All right, we got Santa Aux on deck.
That's it.
Have a good holiday, everyone. Well, thank you. I appreciate
him $9.99 to get Aux to put his hat on. Man, Aux has changed.
He has, man. He's such a sellout, dude. Such a diva.
So
sellout.
Expensive now, man.
It's like me. I'd put on a Santa hat just if you asked me to, and I had one. So, but I don't.
I've got a hat on just because I've got terrible hair.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like, I don't have a hat on or anything. I feel like my production value is going down. We got like Snow over here and a hat for AuxxZillary, and then we got David just naturally looking sexy as fuck with all of his gadgets in the background, and then you got me with like a broken DX racer chair and a dirty desk and like nothing on my head and poor color correctness.
Man.
What did the guy say the other day? It's the signs of a dying channel.
Exactly.
That's right.
Dying. It's going down in flames.
Rattle.
Oh wow!
You know what? I'm gonna turn the saturation up here. Hold on here. Let's see. Wait.
He's trying to sexy it up.
That's too much. That's too much. Hold on. Too much.
Yeah.
A little saturation goes a long ways, guys. All right. Oh, and how about the contrast? Do you want that sharp contrast? What is up? In a world
of snow.
Oh, we got hats. Hold on. Oh, I like that one. Oh yeah.
Mrs. B's paying attention. Thank you, Mrs. B.
Get over my headphones.
See. Killing it.
What do you guys think? You like that one?
That is, good Lord. That is like one.
Dig it.
That is one demented elf.
That one's gonna get hot on you.
I got two hats, so I got a backup hat when I sweat this one off.
Nice. That's got sort of like it's got like the stripper leopard skin fluffy thing going there as well.
It does. I feel like it should be working the pole. Be like, stripper, please.
Whole new meaning to jingle bells.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh my gosh. What is that? Oh, J.A. Cole said today in the UK we just announced tier 4 lockdowns, which means similar to full stay-at-home orders due to the surging infection rate. See, so that's even more important that if they're out shooting, right? They're going to be even more hard on them. So, and I want to be clear here. I am not defending Tom Cruise as a human. I think he is a shitty person. God. He is he's shitty Scientologist person.
He believes in aliens. He's nuts. No, he's completely nuts.
What's wrong with that? I think there's aliens out there.
No, I believe in aliens. I just don't believe they wrote a freaking book on Dianetics or whatever that.
Right.
Like,
the whole Battlefield Earth.
Oh my God. It just seems so crazy.
Yeah, Scientologists are a special kind of nuts.
Book.
Hey, Thomas Tate, thank you for the $5. Said, do you think the Starlink system would be good for an over-the-road trucker? Unfortunately not. They kind of screwed you on that one. No, because they geofence it. They geofence it. So as soon as you go out of the geofenced area, it won't allow an uplink, even though you've got the satellite and everything.
That's dumb. You're only allowed it in close to your home or something.
Yeah, because they don't want people. They don't want people literally driving around and using it as like mobile internet for some reason. I think it has to do more with like the local laws of places, like the jurisdictions of internet providers and stuff. So, anyways, they geofence it. But here's the thing.
That's dumb.
I already watched a video where a guy is working. I think it's going to be a Hackaday thing where he's already working on a thing that basically fakes the GPS signal to the router, so he can basically pinpoint himself
sense.
at any latitude and longitude, and then he'll be able to just drive around and use it.
Now, this is the Elon Musk one, right?
Yeah.
Starlink? Yeah. Okay. It's such a weirdly generic name. I get confused by it. Darka, you've got to be drunk if you're spending £10.
Well, with a name like that, it's like Darka 1912011. Can you tell us what that number signifies? Because it's too many numbers to be a date. It's not enough numbers to be a zip.
19th of January, 2011.
You think so?
You think so?
Yeah,
Or the last 7 digits of his credit card.
You got to 0-1 that shit.
The Europeans do the dates flip.
That's right.
Date, month, year, where we do day, month,
He's
day,
right.
year.
He's right. He
There you
confirmed
go.
it. It's 2011 date.
There you go. Well done, Detective Ox.
And yes, you are
My
drunk,
dear
sir.
Ox.
You know, I know you're drunk because you just gave 10 pounds to some doozle nuts on the internet talking about Tom Cruise being right for a change.
You mean the correct way? No. Who says you don't say it in that, at least in American English, you don't put it in that order when you speak it out loud. You don't say, oh, it's the 19th of January. You say January 19th.
You tell
Ox, come on. We gave you the language. We gave you the language.
And we improved it.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to be clear here, okay? He who has the most nuclear weapons gets to decide, okay? That's just the way it works here on the planet Earth.
Yeah. Hey, which is a perfect segue into we're owned by Russia now anyways, right? I mean,
That's actually true. Technically, Russia owns all our nukes now.
oh my
So,
God, like it's freaking. Why is it not a bigger story? I don't understand.
oh, I think it's a big story. Shit, I turned on the news this morning. It was like every third news story was on this. I
But
think the
nobody
problem
got-
is
Tuesday. No one was talking about it. It was
they
like it was
don't
like, oh,
know
we gotta
the
go-
extent. I think people are worried about talking about it because they don't know the full extent of it, and they don't want to like underestimate this because it's such a big deal. I mean, this shit's gonna get scary, guys. Like take it from me. I used to be a hacker, like legit hacker, not somebody who just like goes, oh, well, I'm a hacker. Look at me run script kiddies and stuff. No, I used to be the
Like
person.
me, in other words.
Yeah, like David. No, I used to run actually like soft ice and hex edited binaries and shit to put back doors in them and did network packet sniffing and decryption. No, I used to do all that shit back in the day. So it's like when I hear hacking stuff, I'm like, is this real or is this fake?
Yeah.
No, this is a big one. This thing,
I
you know,
listened
the
to the
media likes to blow
Twitch TV
shit
on
up. Yeah. Oh
I
wait, we
listened
got
to the Security Now.
what's that?
I listened to Security Now on Twit about it. I love that show.
Oh, I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, he basically just goes over what their release was. So, woohoo,
It's-
Sir Deluxe. Deluxe.
Sir Deluxe. Thank you for the
Ooh,
$10.44 super chat. We appreciate that coming up on Christmas. Brendan Gallagher, thank you for the $5. Said now Microsoft can have bugs at the hardware level, not just the software level. We're going to be talking about that later, and that is that Microsoft's going to be spinning their own silicon for their computers in the future. So
Because they're freaking out about Apple.
dude,
That's
Intel,
why.
Intel is like just like, oh, could you imagine Intel's management meetings right now? Like, guys, you know, we sell most of our server processors to run Microsoft products and tablets. Now those aren't even going to have our chips in them anymore. Like pretty soon, Intel's just going to be sitting there with their little sad 14 nanometer chip and nobody to sell it to.
They're gonna figure. They're gonna. You wait. They're too. Well, I wouldn't say they're too big, but I feel like this is the kick in the butt. I'm sure they'll come up with something. And also, they've got all other. I mean, they're in a lot of cars. They're in a lot of IoT stuff now. I mean, I think there's other places for them to be as well. I think
Intel's going to be fine. Like everybody looks at Intel and thinks, oh no, they're like this 14 nanometer stuff has been around for 30 years. Like what's going on? Intel sucks, blah, blah, blah. Intel's main focus is not consumer. They are the number one.
not now, anyways.
Well, and hasn't really been. They've focused so hard on their like big iron stuff for so long.
Yeah,
It's major databases, major data centers and stuff. That's their bread and butter. I think that's why they got lazy on the consumer side. Really, is because like
FX server though.
Oh, I guess. Wait, Microsoft making their
Microsoft
CPUs
is going
server?
to make ARM chips for their server product and make their server product run on ARM.
Good for them.
No. If this was just their shitty tablet that they already make, like their Surface Pro, I wouldn't even care. Like Intel doesn't even want to make a chip for that piece of shit, right? So it's like, no, let them do that. But no, they announced that they want to make chips for their server product line and their tablet line. And I was like, ooh, man, that's like eating Intel's lunch because Intel is server. Like when you think server, Intel's like even AMD hasn't even cracked that nut yet. So
I mean, Epic's getting better, but like, yeah.
I'm really curious. I mean, I think the Apple thing is really like it's just shaking things up.
People
are
freaking
out.
Yeah. Don't think a company's size though makes them immune, because look how many other companies have completely shit the bed when they were at the top of their game because they got complacent.
BlackBerry, us Canucks, the Canucks.
Look at Nokia, right? Nokia, we about took out like the entire economy of like a small country because Microsoft was like, "Oh, Nokia is so awesome, let's buy them," and then they're like, "Nah, fuck it, sell them to somebody else." Like we're done.
Well, didn't Ericsson was the same thing too? Didn't Ericsson have the same issue?
Sony Ericsson,
Or even Microsoft's Windows Phone, right? If it wasn't for their other business ventures, oh man, imagine if the company was based on just that. Like they would have been gone. Like they never touched 3% market share, and they were putting in more money than like all the other companies combined into research. So it's just they couldn't crack that nut. They tried. They started too late. Like there's just a certain point where it's like no amount of money you're gonna catch them, you know. And I feel like Intel, it kind of got. I guess we'll just talk about Intel right now, real quick. But I feel like Intel just got complacent. I feel like Intel, like 100%. Everybody else around them was like innovating like crazy, and Intel's like, oh, we're gonna make it a little faster. Oh, we're gonna put a little more cash on it. Like you could tell that they were just on life support on this design, milking it for everything, just like Microsoft did with Windows Mobile 6, right? Yeah. Windows Mobile 6 remained unchanged for like 10 years. And then Apple comes out with like an iPhone, and everybody's like, man, how did they make that technological jump? No, they never made a technological jump. The iPhone was representative of what current technology was at the time. Microsoft was just still nursing off the tit of like 10-year-old technology. That's how I felt about it anyways. But yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I feel like they never took AMD seriously.
No.
Because there was nothing to take seriously for so long. I mean, for so long, AMD was just like, they were like on the peripheral somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yep. Intel's made some monstrous mistakes though and recovered it from it. So I don't think it's going to wipe them out. I just think it's going to, they're going to have to really reevaluate like what they're doing and what their focus is if this actually happens, because not only do they lose Apple as a chip buyer, they're like their second biggest chip buyer, right? They lose Microsoft, they lose server. Then you're going to have people like Dell and stuff like that building the Microsoft ARM system, because Microsoft will always license their stuff. They'll design it in-house, but they'll have other companies design it. So
yeah, how does that work? Because they've got all these OEM people to deal with, right?
Yeah, and they always will. Like if Microsoft spends their custom silicon, they never be able to make enough to keep up with the demand. So they've tried before. Like they've tried stuff like this before in the hardware market, and they failed miserably. So they would outsource it, is what they do. They probably have like Foxconn or something build it, and then they would just sell it. And then you'd have companies like probably like Dell and HP and all the tier 1 OEMs would buy the licensing rights to either create the chip themselves, or they'd buy the licensing rights to buy the chip from Microsoft and then put it into their own product at a discounted cost.
Who's Ned Kelly?
Who's Ned Kelly? Yeah.
Wait, what? I missed that.
Thanks for the $5 Australian dollars still in there. I don't know why, but AuxxZillary reminds me of Ned Kelly with a beard.
You got to look that one up. I'm not recognizing the name.
And thank you, Mater Ferguson, too.
Oh,
the Stargate crew come back from mission, and everyone's wearing masks. They think they're in a parallel universe. There you go.
Actually, I found the funniest mask that I asked my wife to buy me for Christmas. It's literally like a really wrinkly old man ball sack. But it's a mask. God. So it matches your skin tone. It goes across, and it just looks like Thanos at 90 years old. And I was like, I got to get that.
That is just wretched.
You want to hear something even funnier? So I'm sitting there looking at the picture on my phone, and my son walks up behind me, and LCD looks over, and he goes, "Dad, what is that?" And I was like, "Nothing." He goes, "Is that a wiener ball mask?"
Yep, wiener ball. Like, that was it.
For henceforth, nutsacks will now be known as wiener balls. Okay, I just want to make that clear. That I'm making that call with all of my internet authority. Oh, Ned Kelly. Okay, let's see who's Ned Kelly. Oh, dude, you totally do look like Ned Kelly.
I know, right?
Holy shit! Like if you did your hair up in the front like that, dude, it's ringer, dead ringer.
That's pretty good.
Oh, he was executed though.
Oh yeah, he's like a horse rustler kind of. It sounds like he was a Australian sort of. Not cowboy, but like bandit.
I've always wondered, AuxxZillary, when you grow a beard that long, do you start having like weird insatiable urges to cut trees down and like rustle cattle and stuff?
No.
Nothing?
Or do bare knuckle fighting.
I do have an urge to lift heavy things, though. I have to say,
manly urges.
Yeah.
Because you can't grow. I mean, I feel like that hair is like a lithium battery for testosterone. Like, I feel like the bigger you grow, it's like storing it up for like really quick release, right? It's like a capacitor for testosterone.
Outlaw, that's the word. Thank you, Lost Roman.
He's an outlaw, Ned Kelly. The outlaw ox.
He doesn't like the law. The law hates him, and he hates the law.
about
This is no longer the Barnacules one. It's the Ned Kelly gang. AuxxZillary Ned Kelly gang.
I don't do a good Australian accent though. So
try it though. I want to hear you just butcher it.
I haven't heard enough, honestly, to replicate it well. So I'm not gonna.
I can't even think of an Australian accent right now. It's one of those weird ones where it's like you hear it all the time, but I can't really like in my head play.
3 days ago, I saw a rig that could haul that tanker. You want to?
There you go.
There we go. Nailed it.
Get out of here.
Okay, I'm not even going to try now. That was way too good.
That's a terrible accent.
That's pretty good though.
Hey, what's up, Miss Liz? Shout out to Miss Liz, our resident moderator.
Miss Liz.
And kicker of shitty people out of chat. Miss Liz, love her.
Just walk away. Just walk away. Right? That's all I got.
Just walk away.
It's just sort of a bit of a drawl. They've almost got a bit of a drawl to the way they talk, right?
Yeah.
So they got sort of I don't know what it is. It's sort of like a bit of a I can't explain it, but it's just this kind of like you're walking around with them and they'll race into the bushes and come back with
instead of saying you just say mate a lot. Just say mate like every third word.
That's true. Yeah, there you go.
If you can't do the accent, just be like, yo, what's going on, mate? Yeah, come on over here, mate. I'm Chopper Reed, mate. Like that's all I got. That's all I got.
Chopper. Did you ever see that film? That was a great film. Remember see Chopper?
No, I haven't seen Chopper.
Yeah, it was like an early like Eric Bana. Does that make sense? Something like that. It was an Australian. He's just like this Australian badass.
I always get Eric Bana confused with the other guy. Is it Christian
He's
Bale?
usually bad. He's usually. I don't usually like him, but I think it was. Let me look it up. Make sure I got the right one. I think it's Chopper.
He's one of those guys that I always get him mixed up with Christian Bale all the time when I'm watching movies. I'm like, is that Christian Bale or is that the Eric Bana guy?
Yeah, it was based on a real guy, Mark Brandon Chopper. But it was, oh my God, what a film! He was nuts.
Dude has been in a lot of movies though. Holy cow!
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was the Hulk, wasn't he? Didn't he do he was one of the bad Hulks.
Wow, he actually shortened his name. Yeah. His real name is Eric Banadinovic.
Whoa. Yeah, I would have shortened that too.
Yeah, I would have too. Like, hey, Mr. Banadinovic, get to the stage,
hey.
Dan Banadinovic, dick. Get over here.
Schwarzenegger, they wanted Schwarzenegger to change his name. I'm glad
that would have ruined everything though. Because that's what makes his name cool is that nobody can spell it, right? It's like the least like spell Schwarzenegger right now, I dare you, without looking at it. Spell Schwarzenegger.
No. Oh, I can't.
It's like $SCHWAKRGGRFQ $ Like, good luck, man. I tried to search for Schwarzenegger, and I couldn't even get Google to figure out what I was trying to say.
You want the Schwartz? The Schwartz be with you? What's the
Well, Google's gotten so good now. It's like you can just type bullshit and it'll figure out what you want. The word correction has gotten so good now that it's like you type in like something completely wrong, like not even phonetically spelled right, and it's like, did you mean this? And it's like, whoa, you're psychopathic. I mean telepathic, but psychopathic also. But I'm like, holy shit, how do they do that? Right? Like the amount of training and the amount of people that had to type that shit in wrong. Like actually, I'm gonna try that right now. I'm gonna go to Google and I'm just gonna try to type in Schwarzenegger. So SCH Zinegger. So and yeah, there it is. Schwarzenegger movie, Schwarzenegger's kids, Schwarzenegger's son, Schwarzenegger's daughter, Schwarzenegger meaning.
You know you're famous when Google fixes the spelling of your name.
Yeah. Actually, I got pretty close. I got closer than I thought. So it's SCHWARZENEGGER. And I spelled SCHWARTZINNAGGER.
Pretty close.
That's a lot of letters for a name, man. Like, I kind of feel bad for him, though, going through school. Could you imagine that? Like, all the kids are like, okay, Ted, write down your name. Okay, T-E-D. And Schwarzenegger's like, you're going to have to stay after class. Oh, damn. Ooh, JCF Data, thank you for the 20 Canadian dollar dues. He said, happy Saturday, gents.
Canadian dollars.
Well, yeah, I know. Okay, thank you for the 50 cents American.
Yeah, right. Thanks. You bought me a Starbucks sandwich.
Way to just throw it right back.
Thank you for maybe if we're in Canada, maybe if we're in Canada, we could get Tim Hortons or something. But we got Starbucks down here, sir. It's Jimmy at least 45 Canadian for a tall coffee.
We're going to Jimmy Ho's, get one of them bear claws.
Eh?
So we go to Jimmy Ho's, eh? They had donuts.
JCF's kissing your ass, David. He said Rodney McKay is his favorite character on Stargate.
Oh yeah, sure it is. Yeah,
that's not ass kissing. That is just the truth, my friends.
No, that is right. That is a bullshit lie because everybody's favorite character on Stargate is Amanda Tapping. So it doesn't matter what she's even playing or what movie she's in. Just
my favorite character on Stargate is probably her. That's to be fair. But yeah.
Actually, to be fair though, I feel like because I watched the whole thing again. I watched the whole Stargate Atlantis thing. all the way soup to nuts again, probably about the third time through. Actually, that's not true. I still got one season left. So the one thing I found out watching it is, my God, do you get a lot of screen time? Like, I was actually kind of shocked by that. Like, I always knew you were a primary character in the show, but it's like, I swear you're on screen more than anybody else.
That's called acting, my friend.
I love
That's called positioning yourself into every damn shot and scene there is.
I swear that you had more episodes than anybody else, though, that were like niche episodes where like you were in some kind of crazy critical situation.
Yeah, because I was playing the producer writers, like, because they're all like sci-fi nerds like me, so they were all they knew me because they were me, if that makes sense. So
nice. So you're just sitting in the meeting like, hey guys, I have an idea. How about we just don't make them the star of the show? And then we just make me the star of the show, and then everybody's out in craft services and doesn't get to fight, and they're like, "Oh, rule done."
Great.
That's
so
awesome.
we talked our way out of that one instead of fighting. That was like it's that. I think it was like a nerd connection there. You know.
Oh, J.A. Cole actually corrected me. He said totally wrong. My favorite character was always Jewel State. Damn.
Oh, Jewel. There you go. Yeah.
Jewel's amazing. Although she doesn't act anymore, right? Doesn't she just go to like conventions because they pay a lot better?
Hey, probably.
No, her words, not mine. Like, she literally was in an interview and she's like, "Oh, I only get paid like $10,000 a week to act, but I can make $40,000 a week going to conventions." She's like, "I'm going to conventions."
It's terrifying. You can make more on conventions than you can acting in many cases. But I'm like, I didn't get into acting to be at conventions. I like the acting part. So
right.
You know.
Well, you better get your ass to some conventions because, man, you owe your fans everything. David, everything. You better go there and you better hug them and play grab ass. You better do what you're told, son.
But this is why I like doing this, because like I feel like you go to a convention, it's just the only people who can do those things are the people who can afford to go to them.
That's
whereas
true.
These ones, it's like anybody could show up, right? Another $20. God, look, it's not. They were kidding. The Canadian money is worth something. JCF data.
Listen, Barnacules, no hard times. Just kidding. Rodney is my overall favorite character. Never said he was the hottest. Okay, that's a good distinction, actually.
Well, wait a second. I preferred the first comment. I don't like this not the hottest part.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was on a desert island for a couple of years and I found some lipstick and some makeup and he was unconscious, I don't know. I mean, things might happen.
I'd start looking very pretty. A little sunburn.
Wilson.
Yeah. Oh God. I am your Wilson, Barnacle.
Oh my God. Hey, you can be my Wilson any day of the week, David. Oh man. Out of control. Miss Liz is cracking up.
That took a nasty turn suddenly. I just.
Meckberg's throwing fire. Kate Hewlett was better.
Whatever.
Oh, burn.
Whatever. Yeah.
I still can't believe I didn't know that was your actual sister. Like, I learned that from you. I literally, like, all the Stargate I've watched, every episode, SG-1 and Atlantis, I never made that distinction ever, but now that you call it out, it's like I can't ignore it. Like, now when I
She's just so Hewlett now. Like, if you look at her now, you'll see there's just Hewlettisms that we have. That just like a way of speaking, even just our sense of humor is very similar, right? So
I just think it's so weird, like that would happen. Like, because I'm an outsider looking in, right? I've never actually been in the film industry. I make stupid videos on YouTube and stuff, so that's a one-man band. But I never would realize that you'd be in a situation where it's like, hey, I know the perfect person to play my sister. It's my sister. And they're like, well, that's a brilliant idea. Do it. Yeah, like, right? I just can't see that conversation going down.
Originally, it was scripted as I had an estranged brother. And I said on set, I was like, look, I know this is a silly thing, but I have like 5 younger sisters, one of whom is an actress. And I'm not asking you to cast her or anything. Please don't. But but I just think it'd be kind of fun if it was more in line with my own life. And they were like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. Because they were like, they didn't know what they were going to do with it or whether they were going to do anything with it. And then Garrow, one of the writers, he's a Torontonian as well, and he was at like one of these like fringe plays that I never go to, like theater. And my sister was doing it, and he saw that and was like, "Oh my God, she's so like it just makes sense to go that route." They still made her audition though, jerks. I was like, "Well, you're auditioning to be my sister, like." What, they don't think you can play it?
They're like, we want you to be mean to the character, Rodney. You think you could do that? Like be mean to him, like you're really his sibling. Like, can you act that out for me?
Right.
And she's like, sure.
That's the thing.
Well, we had a director say, remember your siblings. I was like, what?
Wait.
They're like,
I'm
not sensing any love. I was like, yeah, because we're siblings. You don't sense love with siblings.
That's it, right? You read books and the sibling interactions don't work. It's super weird. You can tell.
I may have to go and get that because it may be Jane trying to get in. If my son doesn't make it upstairs, we'll see.
You gotta use the technique. I have a technique that's called just yelling really loud.
Yeah,
I use it all the time with Xander. I'm like, Xander, bring me a sandwich. You know, it's like it works good. Sometimes I get a yogurt. Sometimes I get a sandwich. I'm not really worried about it as long as I get something.
Yeah, exactly. As long as something shows up, like a sexy hat or something.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Alexa, open the door. Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, I wish.
Can you actually get Alexa to open your door?
I wish that would work, but I don't trust it because then what happens if you lose power or something? And also, Alexa doesn't get anything right anyways.
Actually, the funniest thing that I've seen so far is like I love it when people create like complex automation and then they don't really test it in the most logical ways. Like one of my favorite ones is that Simply Safe, right? So I watched a video where a guy had that Simply Safe. He was one of the few channels that wasn't sponsored by him. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna fart around with this. And so he hooks up a Simply Safe like through his Alexa and he says like, Alexa, unlock the front door. And it's like, dink, dink, and it unlocks the front door because he's got the little motorized lock on it. And so then he walks outside and he's standing on his front porch and he goes, Alexa, unlock the front door. Opens it up, has his friend come over. Alexa, open the front door. Opens the door. Like, because it can hear him.
How are you, Donnie?
Oh, it's huzzah.
Someone's excited.
Huzzah.
Hey, relax.
Oh, breathe, doggo, breathe.
Okay,
breathe.
Relax. Just sit.
We just see the dog just jump up and start eating his throat.
Oh my God, just sliced open my skin.
Hey, Pup Shepherd, that's good timing. We got a dog on the channel right now. He says, wag, wag, arf, arf, licks, lick. It's my birthday today. Dog ears has been kind, boops. I feel like we should sing happy birthday to Pup Shepherd. I think we should. You ready, Ox? You gonna help me sing some happy birthday?
Sure.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to Pup Shepherd. Happy birthday to Pup Shepherd. Happy birthday, dear Pup Shepherd. Happy birthday to you. Play ball.
Happy birthday.
That was
yeah.
Man, she ripped me open.
Dude, I was just joking about that. I was like, she's like attacking you and ripping you up, and she seriously did, like, while I was saying that.
There's like blood.
Huzzah just threw down, dude.
I gotta nail her claws.
Oh, Andrew said we were way off. Oh, I guess the audio delay kind of put us out of sync on that barbershop quartet. Oh, well.
That'll be interesting.
Better luck next time.
It'd be like watching Tenet. No spoilers.
Bird!
No spoilers.
Bird! Nolan's like crying right now. He's sitting there with like a bucket of chicken. Like, oh, God, dude. Why would you do this to me?
That guy from Stargate didn't like.
You're seriously going to go in for you're going to go in for like a blind interview for a movie, like not even knowing who the director is. He's going to be like, I know what you said on TechTalk. Somebody sent me the link. I know what you said.
Apparently, Gabriel Byrne was in I can't remember where I heard this, but this was a friend. Or I don't know what. It's probably like I probably read it somewhere. But apparently, Gabriel Byrne, actor, goes in to meet Steven Spielberg for a movie, and it was I think it was like Schindler's List or something. Apparently, I may have got all the names wrong, but we'll see. And he goes in and he says, he was sort of babbling away, and he said, yeah, I mean, like, I really like this script because it's not treating it like some stupid. They're not like stupid cartoon characters like those indie movies or whatever. And Spielberg's like, I made those movies, right? He's like, oh, okay. Well, good luck with the movie. And he like left.
Oh man,
that's done. So we're done here. Yeah.
That'd be like having James Cameron sitting at the table and you're like, you know what? I'm totally against building full-size sets and sinking boats. That's just dumb amateur shit.
Yeah, that Avatar movie. What an idiot.
Yeah, what's up with blue people with tails that like hump each other? Like that don't make sense. Like what? Like come on. People know where their genitals are. They aren't in their hair.
I'm sure it's easy to say the wrong thing when you get in those situations, but at the same time, why not have it for posterity on the internet?
I mean, I'll tell you what, I am the king of putting my foot in my mouth. I'm pretty sure that if I ever go back to the real working world, like I'm going to have a lot of exit interviews. Be like, yeah, I know we only hired you 3 weeks ago, but we found this video on the internet where you went on like some drunken tirade for 4 hours about like how pad thai is racist or something. Like, we're going to have to let you go, sir.
What? What's that?
I say some random shit, David. I say some random shit. Not so much here on TechTalk. I'm behaved on TechTalk. On Twitch, I'm like completely a different animal.
It's
I did.
Oh, hey, gorgeous. How you doing?
Say hi.
Huh?
You going to?
Under the very bottom shelf, on top of a couple of my other stuff. I didn't pull it
Isn't
out
that
yet.
cute? He's acting like he's talking to a woman, so
I
we
know
think
where
he
it
has a
is.
girlfriend.
So when your mom gets her, you
Like he's like even has a soundboard playing back.
right.
Hey, what is up? Like everybody's showing off their like girlfriends and wives here, and I'm like over here with like
we're all
nothing.
just.
Hey, Mrs. B was on earlier, so don't
Yeah,
even.
Mrs. B showed up and got you a hat. What are you complaining about?
She did. Did she?
Yeah,
But did she get on
David didn't
camera
get
though?
a hat.
Jane brought me nothing but a deadly dog virus of some kind.
You know, the doggy's been walking for 4 hours and probably doesn't need a big long one tonight.
Right,
So that's
okay.
my point.
Oh, there you go. Wow. Thanks for the attitudes. Love you.
She's secretly taking that dog out and training it to attack you.
That's so cute.
See you. Gordon.
She got the proper British going on. That's so cute.
Oh, I
yeah.
love that accent. Oh my gosh, that
I know.
accent.
She's got the best accent.
Oh my gosh, don't.
She speaks British. Wait a second. She speaks American with a British accent. Thank you, Jane.
Sure.
She also writes all my good lines, apparently.
Oh my gosh, like
There you
yeah,
go.
no, accents are hot. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That's
Accents
cool.
are just super duper hot.
It really, generally, yeah. I mean, works for me.
Like I don't know. For me, it's one of those things where it's like I can hear an accent like in the other room, and just be like, huh, like what is that?
It's
I like that.
the funny thing about Hollywood is that Hollywood sees accents as like on or off. They don't see them as specific accents. It's always like, oh, you've got an accent. It's like, what? But, like, what kind of an accent? Just like an accent. but the accents are about, like, they're regional, right? No.
What always blows my mind is how they can just turn them off though to an American accent, which is like the un-accent, right? I know that other people
They
like consider an
didn't used to be
American
able to
accent, but it's like we have like no
Brits-
inflections or anything. We just butcher everything all monotone, right? There's no event to how to the American accent.
But there is an American accent. Like, if you go to England, they'll make fun of my American accent.
Right,
Right.
but it's like funny because it just doesn't seem like there's like any inflection or anything there. Like in every other accent, there's some kind of inflection. The words like smoothly go together. Over here, our accents just like say the word in the most generic way humanly possible.
But that's part of the
That's our accent, yeah.
positivity of it, though, is like there isn't any weird, like you can be understood across a wide breadth of like, I
That's
guess,
true.
Inherent dialect, right?
Yeah.
Because you talk about like the Deep South or whatever, they all have kind of not just a auditory difference, but there's like slang difference and like it's a proper like dialect of English at that point.
Oh yeah, like go to
And, like-
Boston. Oh my god.
Yeah, and especially as you go towards the West Coast, it's less of that. It's much easier to at least understand all of the words because they're kind of pronounced plainly like that.
Yeah.
It used to be that all the British accents, all the British actors used to do American accents, so they always had a twang. It was like that was the only accent they could sort of. But now, I think that honestly, they've had they made a concerted effort to actually get it down because now the lead in every freaking show is British, and they're also incredibly well trained too. They're not like here where it's like you're pretty, we're putting you on TV. Where they've actually got to they got to earn their stripes.
I'm still shocked when I watch like interviews after movies, like these like press junket interviews, and then it's their normal accent, and you're like, what the shit? Like because they get an American accent so perfect in their role that you just assume that they're American, and then they're like, oh yeah, the bloody this and all. You're like, what? Like what?
Yeah.
How the hell did you go
Australians
from
too.
that to the accent in the movie and have it be so believable?
Yeah, Daniel Craig. That's true. Jason Fry. He's got that. Although I just couldn't. The problem with Daniel Craig is he's so iconically James Bond now for me. I found it really difficult to watch him with a drawl. Was it Knives Out?
Knives Out was fun.
Oh
Oh my
on,
God,
here we got
Hugh Laurie.
So
Yeah.
Dark, sorry I missed that. Thank you for 5 pounds, Dark. He said, hey guys, I'm wondering if an e-cig user, he said he's an e-cig user and he's wondering if the vapor would harm his PC. Actually, yes. That you do have to be careful
Not
with
as
that
much as
because
cigarettes.
the glycol, the
Yeah.
vaporized glycol will collect on anything that's statically charged, like your heatsink and anything a fan's blowing across, and it will actually build up an insulating layer.
Don't
And it might
puff
get in
out
your lungs as well.
Don't puff the stuff straight into your PC, and you're not going to do any more damage than smoking around the thing.
But smoking
It
around
might
the thing
be
also
something
just as bad. Like I used to clean
Yeah.
computers that locked up because the
same.
tar in the cigarettes would like blow the fan bearings out and stuff. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, It's gross.
So here's
But,
what you do:
cigarettes are
circulated
terrible.
air. Make sure your room has really good circulated air. That way, the glycol stays broken up, and when it solidifies, it's tiny little particles, and it doesn't turn to like a gel layer.
Yeah.
And I can prove this
Or
actually.
you
My
quit, and you don't have to spend this stupid amounts of money on it.
there you go.
Yeah.
No, but I have the ultimate vape. Like, dude, do you even vape, bro? Hold on, I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, you don't even vape. Okay, that is a vape right there.
What the hell is that?
That is a volcano vape machine for like doing smoke and like fog.
Oh, that's what I want.
So actually, here, just for funsies, we'll go ahead and fire this bad boy up. It takes a while to warm up. Here, let me grab the remote so it doesn't fry.
Hell, is there a screen on it? What
Oh
the
yeah,
hell is that?
God, this is I borrowed
fog.
this from the Adam, aka Kevlar Condom, and he only buys the best things. So
Dude,
I'm sure this thing
yeah.
costs like $1 billion. But let me put it down.
Nah.
Here. I'm gonna let it. It takes about 15 minutes to warm up. This will
Oh my God,
It'll
vaporize.
fill the room
It will vaporize so much. Like, I mean, it'll empty out that tank in like a minute.
like thick.
Yeah,
thick
it's super
too. Like
thick.
you can't see through this stuff. That thing
Really?
is monster.
And it's
Oh
got
yeah.
lights too. Hold on here. Let's see. Does the lights work?
You know, the weird thing about fog is they've always used it on film, and now that things are digitized and streamed, I find the fog ruins everything
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
because it can't get it anymore. It can't sort of like recreate it on the screen.
They can't get that translucency like right
Yeah.
with it.
It's really weird.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm turning that on though is I wanted to demonstrate to him that when I was running this back when I used to do on my live stream on Twitch, I used to do a whole DJ thing with lights and fog, and
Oh,
I even
really?
had a leaf blower that I could control the speed of variably using DMX controllers and stuff. I was really nerdy back in the day.
Oh yeah, you're way cooler now.
No. I just got old. I just got old and my back broke and I was like too lazy.
got
But no, I have all the
got
shit to do it.
tired. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean I've got all the lights. I can control it all from a MIDI controller, so I can control the intensity of the light based on pressure and change the leaf blower speed and all that stuff. So what I did is I ran this thing really heavily a couple of times during the stream, and I noticed afterwards the underside of my table just had literally, it felt like somebody just put glue on it. And then I was like, what the hell? So then I opened up my PC and there was just a light dusting of dust stuck to everything. And if I took my finger and I put it on it, like pulled it down, it would like just there was just goo with dust all over the place. So the glycol that comes out of that thing does settle out. Like it'll blow into the atmosphere and it'll just dissipate. But when it disappears, it's not really disappearing. It's settling back down on the surfaces of everything. So if you have good airflow, what'll happen is it settles out and it gets lighter. It'll just get sucked out of the room. But if you don't have that airflow or you have negative airflow on a PC case, it's going to suck it into your damn PC. And then, it will create an insulating layer.
I love dry ice. Invisible
Dry
dimensions.
ice is
I
awesome.
love,
That's
oh
fun.
my God,
That's
I love
awesome.
that stuff.
Plus
We play
dry
with
ice
that.
leaves no residue, right? It just turns directly to a gas and never transitions back.
It's amazing. I love because we get some of our frozen stuff will show up in the dry ice, and I'm like, Baz, dry ice, and we go running around. We like fill up a sink and start like spraying that stuff around. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, Luke said, "Can you put weed in that?" Technically, you could. It'll spray anything that's oil, but you'd have to put like $1,000 of it in there.
Oh my God! So you could totally do that.
You could just
I didn't
hotbox a
think
room
of
with
that.
it. Yeah.
Oh wow, man! College is no one's gonna get through college ever again now.
That's like the new thing. You don't go to college. It's no longer puff, puff, pass. You just walk in, a giant volcano goes, like 5 minutes
it.
later, everybody's like, where am I? I'm
Instantly.
hungry.
All right. Yeah.
Instantly.
That's a YouTube video in the making. Hey, Dark, thank you for the 10 pounds. He said, I leave my window open. Thing is, I watch other vapor channels like Indoor Smokers, and none of them talk about electronics damage. It's not going to be so much
Yeah, because
damage.
they're selling vapes.
So it's hard to say. Like, so the glycol that's in there will actually gum up fans once it gets in the bearing. But that's going to take a long time. It's not going to happen like overnight. And the other thing too is, as long as the surfaces that are being cooled are like overcooled, like they have larger heat sinks and larger fans than what they need, you're never going to get to the point where they're thermally throttled and they start hurting the PC. So realistically, you're going to be fine. It's a hell of a cleanup. Like if you've ever opened a PC that's been around a smoker for a long period of time, or around vapors for a long period of time, you basically have to use like spray bottles and ethyl alcohol or whatever and go through and spray it down, let it dissolve all the glycol, and then basically like let it dry off and evaporate. And it's a pain in the ass. I hated doing it. So just be aware of that. Like, but if you have a window open, just blow the vape out the window. Or just have a fan have a fan in the room that's just circulating the air. As long as you have airflow, then it's not going to settle out on the surface, because when it fogs and it basically expands out, the particles get so damn small that as long as you have a little bit of airflow, they'll stay suspended in the air pretty much indefinitely. and they're not going to settle really bad. But if you have no airflow in the room, it's just going to slowly, like snow, settle down, and you're going to start to notice the surface of your desk getting sticky. You're going to notice your keyboard and mouse getting sticky. So just be aware of those things. If things start feeling like they're getting sticky, you do not have enough airflow.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to wait to that point. Things are sticky. It's because I have a child. It's got nothing to do with the damn vaping. I feel like the weirdest thing to get used to as a parent is the fact that you're going to be constantly slightly sticky for the rest of your life.
I swear, why is it everything involved with kids is sticky? Like making them is sticky, they're born, they're sticky, they grow up, they're sticky. Yeah, it's like it never stops.
No, it's true.
Then they go through puberty, and then the laundry's all sticky. It's like, come on, dude, come on.
God.
I feel so bad for my mom. Man, growing up, I thought I was pulling the wool over her eyes. I found out later, like, no way. She knew the whole time. She was just being nice.
It just wasn't talked about, Barnacules.
It just wasn't talked about. Yeah, no, we shouldn't talk about such things in the burger house.
Horrid. Your keyboard.
It's not a sock. That's a machete, mate.
That's not a sock.
I'm terrible. Nothing's off limits with me. I'm one of those people. I like making people uncomfortable because it's so much harder to make me uncomfortable. I'm
British. Everything makes us uncomfortable.
Actually, you told me you have 3 different countries you're technically a citizen of, right?
Oh,
yeah. So you're Canada, United States, and the UK, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
dude, that's crazy, man. Like that's gotta be pretty freeing to know that, like, when your leadership goes crazy, you can just up and leave and go to another country, and then if their leadership goes batshit, you just go to Canada, where like leadership doesn't even matter.
I was gonna say 2 of the 3 though went crazy. Like, right? I mean, we got Brexit happen. I don't even know what happened with Brexit.
Dude, it's like now they're like agreeing it's gonna take another 3 years. I'm starting to think that they all decided it was a bad idea, so they're just gonna wait it out and hope people forget. Am I wrong? Can somebody from the UK please like correct me here on what's going on with Brexit? Because so far I haven't seen anything happen. I haven't seen any of the deals get. And now the talks are like, what do they call a no deal Brexit? What does that mean? If there's no deal, then what the hell's the point? Like, no, we are leaving. Like, what does leaving mean though? Like what does that mean?
But that's the problem. That's what they're trying to negotiate. What does it mean when they're leaving? Are they going to still have? I mean. All I know is that now you have to go into the non-European line, which you used to not have to do. Like, one of the reasons why we loved having our UK passport was that we could go to the UK, we could go to France, we could go to anywhere. It was all part of the EU. Now, of course, they've completely that's done now. You know.
Okay, so with Brexit, now UK stands alone, meaning you need an individual passport to go to the EU now.
You need work permits for England to work in England from anywhere else. You need work permits to go to Europe if you're British. I mean,
okay, that's kind of a big deal, then. I can see why people are like getting weird.
Well, and then what do you do in Ireland? What do you do in Ireland where there's like 2 different Irelands, right? I mean, you've got the British, the UK Ireland, and you've got Ireland, and it's you know.
So does that mean like if Jeremy Clarkson wants to go to the Isle of Man or drive over there, now he has to like go through like a passport checkpoint or something to do it?
Well, that's what they're trying to figure out, right? They're trying to figure out what exactly that's going to involve. Are they going to be a little bit more lax on the UK, or are they going to be dicks to the UK because they left? I mean, who knows, right?
So does that mean like the VAT thing doesn't apply now? So does like that shit going to be cheaper in the UK?
No, the UK was always VAT. Like the VAT,
I thought that was the EU thing.
No, the value-added tax was always I was always shocked at that. Then of course, we instituted it here in Canada.
Did the EU do it too, or was it just
20,
the UK?
25%? Crazy.
It's 30. I thought it was 30% or something like on some things. That's ridiculous.
What do we hear now? The harmonized tax is like something crazy here. Miss Liz will know, right? But is it Miss Liz? Did I get that right?
Yeah, she's
Miss Liz is our Canadian expert.
But there's like, I mean, there's the GST or whatever it is, or the HST or whatever they call it here, harmonized sales tax, whatever. It's 20%. Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually 25% in Poland and Denmark. Okay, so actually they're getting a better deal now.
Oh my God. No,
so just so you guys know, a value added tax is basically if you buy something that is imported into the country, you have to pay an additional percentage in taxes. So if you buy something that costs $100 from China, you have to pay $20 more on top of the extra taxes that you're already paying to get that item. Whereas here in the United States, we have, until we had the trade war with China, which is, I think, pretty much over now. That was the whole problem, right? Is you'd pay that, but then the problem is you get that from your citizens because in this day and age, they just raise the price by 20%.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work very well.
What's Jim? What are you saying? It's not VAT in the UK. What's the deal?
What is it in the UK?
All goods have VAT unless they are essential. There you go. That's
a VAT is another
that
tax. Call it what you want. Well, I mean, it is a tax. It's value-added tax. They even have tax in the name.
Yeah, the value is unfortunately for the government taking the tax, not for us. But, you know.
Oh, wait a second. VAT isn't about imports. It's added on all products in the UK.
Yeah, that's it. The VAT was
no
always.
Way.
There was always the VAT.
So if I
we used to go for it. Yeah, we used to go all the time.
So if I make a product, so if I'm in the UK and I'm a UK citizen, and I'm within the boundaries of the UK, and I open a shop and I make pastries or some shit, I got to charge you 20% extra for value-added tax.
Yep. That's right.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Really?
But you know what? But what's smart about it is they don't do like here. They give you the price of the good, and then they add the tax later. In England, anyways, they seem to have all the prices so that you just get the price. The price is the price with the tax and everything.
Oh,
the idea of not adding the tax till the end is like such a ripoff to me because I'm like, what am I really paying for this? Like you go and you pick out your computer and you're going to get like a laptop or something, and all of a sudden there's like an extra like $800 added, and you're like, what the,
Yeah, you know why they do that though is because the sales tax changes so dramatically all the time. Like here where I've lived, the sales tax has gone up like 20 times in the last 20 years. It's like every year it adjusts a little. It'll go up a little or it'll go down a little. And then it's county specific. So like I pay a different sales tax where I live. Like if I drive into Seattle, I got to pay like 0.2 of a cent or 0.2% more taxes if I'm in Seattle than where I'm at right now. So it literally changes like county to county.
But we were in Washington State. There was no, what was it? There was no state income tax? No, state.
There's no income tax here.
No income tax.
Yeah. That's it, right? Which is.
But if you go to Oregon, really right, nice. But our sister state, right? If you go to Oregon and Portland, then there's income tax and property taxes are way higher, but there's no sales tax.
Right. Our property tax is insane, and I just also found out that if we sell the house here, so even though it's our primary and only residence, if we sell the house here, we pay capital gains in the States.
What? Really?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Because I'm an American citizen.
Oh, so it's considered income regardless of where it comes from?
Income from a foreign
and it is
country.
Only going to get worse.
Part of your taxes. Yeah,
Tell me this though.
It's only going to get worse though because of COVID, right?
There's a rule in the United States where if you sell a house, you have a certain period of time where you can take the proceeds to buy another house, and if you do that, then you don't have to pay capital gains. So does that still apply even when you sell it in Canada?
We're in Canada. No, it's just capital gains. I pay capital gains on retirement funds that I have up here because they are the best people to nail for taxes are people who are Americans who are living abroad, right?
Huh.
Wow. Okay, so I got the sales tax open right now for all the different states, not the counties. It also breaks down by counties. But at the state level, the cheapest sales tax, I can't believe this. This is crazy. So I'm moving to Alabama, man. Alabama is only 4% sales tax.
Yeah, but they got to make up for that elsewhere.
Yeah, what's their infrastructure like? Because I remember in Washington, like the roads were like, you needed like a tank.
That's true. That's true. And Alaska's zero. So I didn't realize Alaska's zero sales tax, just like Oregon is.
I would do Alaska. Nice. I would totally do Alaska.
I want to see what the most expensive is, though. Here, let me scroll through the list, see which state is the most expensive.
California. California is usually pretty bad.
So 7% in Tennessee. Oh my God, Puerto Rico's 11.5%.
Oh, that's not that bad. I mean, right here is like almost 10. So
I know, but that's the highest on this whole thing. They're like we're the second highest.
It kind of makes sense though, because Puerto Rico is like out there, right? Probably a little bit difficult to get stuff in there.
I know, but also they're not exactly like the richest place. Like there's not a ton of excess money to be blowing.
That's
wow, that sucks, man. Like
Puerto Rico.
12% versus 4%. That's crazy. Just think about that, like how much money you would save in a year just buying stuff like fuel. Like with that lower tax rate. I mean, it would make such a huge difference.
Alaska pays you. Of course they do, right? That's right, because it's the oil money, right?
Yeah. Well, see, you guys messed up. You didn't marry a Native American Indian like I did, so I actually get paid by the tribe. I get the tribal monies.
All right.
No, we literally yesterday we got a check.
You hold this over us.
So yesterday we got a check in the mail for a couple of $100s, and it literally just says gooey duck sales. So like literally that was our percentage of the tribal gooey duck sales from like the reservation that my wife's quarter Indian status gives her rights on.
Yeah,
and for those who don't know, gooey duck's like a shellfish, right?
It's a giant clam. That's the best way I can describe it. It's a giant clam that looks like a massive uncircumcised wiener when it comes out.
Good.
And apparently they're a massive delicacy in like China and Japan and stuff. And we don't really eat them that much here.
It should be a tasty thing. Yeah.
I've never had one. Have you had one?
No.
That's what's weird is they're everywhere here. Like I've literally gone to the beach and just watched gooey ducks because you can tell because they shoot a stream way higher than a clam. Like they'll go down like 5 feet and they'll shoot a geyser. It's crazy. But I've never eaten one. I've seen people digging them up my whole life. I've never dug one up myself, but I've watched people do it, like just walking on the beach, and they're like literally everywhere. Yet I've never eaten one. I don't know anybody that's had one. Like I guess we just dig them up and sell them to China. Like I don't even think we eat them here.
When we lived in Washington State, we used to be able to get mussels. You could just walk in and get just go to the beach, pick them up, and do that. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, mussels here, clams too.
In England, it was periwinkles. Is that right? Does that make sense? The little.
Wait, you guys ate periwinkles? That's like we use that for bait here to catch trout.
Is that? I think I can't remember. Was it? And it might not have been them. But they're these little tiny shells. Is that right? The little. And my dad, we used to get buckets of them from the beach and use them for food. I guess. Maybe
they look really like snails.
Yeah, they're like little snails.
Oh, okay, yeah. They're okay. No, I've seen these before. I was thinking something else. Like
cockles. Is it cockles? Yeah, it might be cockles, Jim.
Yeah, it actually does come up as periwinkles though. Also, so when we
so they are the same word.
Yeah, okay, when we think periwinkles here, we think of those little. They're almost like little barnacle things, right? That you put on a hook and catch shit.
Oh, okay. Well, that's so they used to get cooked in like stews and stuff. Like it's kind of like having like escargot in France or something.
Well, the cool thing here is there's certain things that there's such a huge population of that as long as you're not doing it for commercial, you can just go out and harvest whatever you want. Like clams. Like you can go to the beach. Clams. Go to the beach and get like 15 pounds of razor clams in a day with your family and just take them home. Nobody even. You don't need a license or anything. Like
crab.
Yeah, you don't want to get that wrong though. Jesus.
Yep. For crab, you do have to have a license now, so you can't just grab crab anymore. But the cool thing is, it's a cheap license, and they just have to be a certain size. Like you basically just have like a little bracket thing you stick it on there, and as long as they're big enough, you keep them.
Yeah.
And there's crabs like everywhere too. Like
any shore around here, man. You just throw a box out there, and you'll come up with some Dungeness. Yeah,
as a matter of fact, I caught a crab. I didn't eat it. I threw it back, but I went and caught a crab just at Alki out in Seattle.
Yep.
I just literally went out to the end of the thing, and I took a stick and I just put it down in the water, and I was just poking the crab, and the crab got pissed and grabbed the stick, and I pulled him up and put him on the dock. And he was, I'm going to get you. And we were all laughing. And like, oh my God, this crab's like totally pissed off. And then we kicked him back off into the water. But I was like, he grabbed the stick. Like there are so many crabs that you can literally just poke them with a stick, literally. And they grab it and come back to you. Like you don't even need bait.
Yeah.
Or scuba diving. That's another thing. Have you seen the guys that get the crabs with scuba diving? So out at Alki.
Giant ones?
Yeah. Well, not really big. They're maybe the biggest. They're like maybe this big. They're the little ones. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what kind of crab they are or what breed they are. But I know they are edible because they get them.
Huge ones, those massive.
Oh, Dungeness.
King.
Oh, is the king
crabs? Okay. That's a massive king. Those things are like something out of freaking Aliens.
What are the ones that look like a spider that have like no girth to them? Is it spider crabs?
Yeah, they get really, really long, skinny legs. They look like, and then their bodies are real tiny.
And then you deep fry them and put them in a spider roll.
Ooh, there you go.
Because whenever I watch that show,
I gotta pee.
Oh, go ahead.
My tiny
have fun.
bladder. My tiny old bladder needs me.
Do it. Go piss.
I might grab a coffee though while I'm doing that.
Do it.
Well, bring me one too, would you?
All right, done.
Hey, Miss Barnacules, if you're listening, could I have another coffee? I mean, she was listening when I was wearing the hat, so let's see if she's listening now. No, that's the guys. When I went to Alki to do my scuba diving lessons way back in the day, I saw these guys jumping off the end of the dock with dry suits on. They just put them on over their clothes, and they jump in the water and they like swim down and they literally just have like a net. And they're just picking them up off the ground. Like literally, it's like you're at a farmer's market or something. They're just picking up these crabs, sizing them. Nope, that one's too small. Nope, and then as soon as they find one that's right, they just stick it in their bag and they keep going. And they're down there for maybe like 10 minutes and they come up and they got like, 15, 20 crabs in their bag. And then when they go up to the top, they like do some more stuff and then they throw a couple more back and then they go to their car and take off their dry suit and just go to work. Like it's like shopping. It's the coolest thing ever. I've always wanted to do scuba diving with a dry suit, but they're super expensive. Like the dry suits are so much more expensive than the wetsuits.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but apparently you just literally can put them on over your clothes. Like if you were going to work, you could put a dry suit on like over your suit, like with a tie and everything. You could literally go jump in, go scuba diving for like 30 minutes, come up, take the suit off, and you won't have a drop of water on you, and you can just go to work or whatever. There's people that were doing that all the time. Miss B said, "I'm not home." Oh. Well, where are you, Miss B? She's like, I'm not home, but she's still watching the stream and replying. That's awesome. Hey, GTR35, thank you for the $3. He said, I moved from Puerto Rico to Texas, never going back. But I hear Puerto Rico is such a nice place.
I mean, it's a little sketchy, I guess, or like.
Well, they just get hit by
clearly,
like natural disasters every 15 seconds.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind buying a little piece of property over there.
See, as long as it wasn't like my primary residence, because like they do have way too many like storms and hurricanes and stuff. Like same thing with Florida. Like I wouldn't want to live in Florida because like it can go from the most beautiful weather ever one day to like literally like eye of the hurricane the next day, and every third house has a tarp on top of it. It's like. That's too much for me. I like Washington because Washington's mild. Like we get everything, but it's super mild. Nice.
Yeah.
Like the highest winds we ever see is maybe like 60 or 70 miles an hour in little gusts. The most snow that we'll ever see is maybe like a foot or two on a really bad year, and on a normal year, like maybe 6 inches or maybe a foot at most. So it's like it's super chill throughout the year. It's like every other place you live, there's some extreme. Like if you live in like Arizona, it'll hit like 120 degrees in the shade, right? Like I couldn't do that. Hot. Couldn't do that. Or you go to Florida and the humidity is just relative humidity is 100% like all the time. You're just breathing water. Alaska I do though. Like I always thought Alaska was like really scary weather. No, actually most of Alaska when we went on the cruise, it was like 70 degrees up there and it actually looked very much like Washington. Like honestly, there wasn't a lot
habitable
of difference.
Places.
Yeah. It was actually really, really nice. I'd definitely consider like retiring in Alaska.
Vegas does not have mild weather. Vegas is another spot that gets like 120 in the, no way.
Yeah, you know how you can tell?
Shade.
So the weather, you can always tell like what the weather's going to be like in a place by how expensive it is to live there. Like it's always like, no, seriously, like Vegas, right? I have a friend that lives off the strip about 10 minutes, right? And he lives in a gated community in like a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot house with a in-ground swimming pool, in-ground spa, a putting green. I mean, the nicest thing you've ever seen, like a house that would cost like $2-3 million here. And I was like, dude, how much do you pay for this? He's like, oh, this house, I'm leasing it. It's on the market for $650,000, which is like what I pay. That's what my house is worth, being this like crumbled down 1,600 square foot on like 5,500 square foot lot. And you can buy that in Vegas, and the market's like really cold right now. So it's like you could probably talk them down another $50,000. It's wild. It's like I did not realize it was that cheap to live in Vegas. I always assumed it'd be expensive, but no, it's only expensive on the strip. Everywhere else it's dirt cheap.
Yeah, I've heard that about Arizona too. Like $250K for like a 4-bedroom house on 2 acres and stuff. It's
Or like outside of Tennessee,
Texas.
like living in Tennessee is expensive, but if you go like 11 or 12 miles outside of Tennessee. You can buy like these ranches that are on like 50 acres and stuff for like $100,000, $150,000 with like houses and outbuildings and everything. So yeah, I mean, good luck getting good internet out there, but it's with Starlink and stuff like that, it's gonna open that up, right? People will be able to do that.
Yeah,
I want Starlink, but they haven't accepted me into the beta yet.
Wow.
I think Miss Liz got accepted though. Hey, Miss Liz, are you gonna get the Starlink?
What?
Yeah, up in Canada, apparently she got the mail, the mail from the old Elons that said that she can have it.
Aw, like a special letter.
Yeah, I checked to see if I got the special letter too, and I was like, no, I'm still on the waiting list. The only problem with Starlink is they don't have enough satellites now, so you will see blackouts like throughout the day. Like if you do a ping test, fine. You're not going to have internet 24/7. Like it's going to go down for here and there for a while. I don't know how long before they have enough satellites deployed to have 24/7 coverage over any of the loops. Does anybody know?
I have no idea.
I'm curious if somebody in chat may know, because I know right now it's kind of broken up, and it is like the satellite cost. At least in the beta, they might bring down the cost when they start mass producing it, but it's $700 for the satellite and the modem, or the satellite receiver and the modem, and then I should say the dish and the receiver. But it's $700, and then I want to say it's $90 a month during the beta to get up to I want to say it's like 25 or 30 megabits symmetrical or something like that. It's actually pretty good. But apparently it's supposed to get a lot faster than that. Once they deploy the whole satellite network, apparently this thing can get upwards of like 120 or 150 megabit per second. Which was something that's just coming out of the sky with like really low latency. That's pretty damn impressive.
How do they reduce the latency on something like that?
It's super low Earth orbit. Like they're not that far up. Like right now, so instead of having a satellite in geosynchronous orbit that's like 250 miles away, like the HughesNet satellite, where you get like 1,000 milliseconds both ways, just because of the distance the signal has to travel.
Yeah.
Now they have these little like satellites that are the smaller than a tiny car, and they're flying around at like breakneck speed to maintain their orbit this close to the Earth. But I think they're only up like I want to say like 20 miles or something, 15 or 20 miles. It's not a very long distance at all. So now, and they're really fast. Like the new technology.
Similar to just wireless anyways.
Exactly. Yeah. So your total round trip, I think they said they're going to be able to get the lag down to somewhere around 20 milliseconds, which is honestly on par with like most cable internet connections.
That's 20 milliseconds is not bad at all.
Yeah, you could game on that. Like that's total, I mean, you wouldn't like, be a pro gamer on that. You'd want like, a DSL with like 1 millisecond lag.
Yeah, that would be my problem. Yeah. My problem would be the latency for sure.
So geosynchronous is 22,500 miles. Okay, so way the hell out there. That's why it takes so long for the signal to get there and back. So it's like the different, if you guys wonder what we're talking about, we're talking like the HughesNet satellite, which is like conventional internet satellite.
Satellite internet. Yeah, that's garbage.
Super slow, download only, no upstream. Yeah. The way they do it is the satellite's out literally, like you said, 22,000 miles. And the reason it's out so far is because that way it can stay perfectly over the spot on the ground as going around. That way they only need like 4 satellites to cover the entire Earth, more or less. But with Elon's program, the satellites are really close to the Earth. They're only up like, I don't know, 100, 150 miles or something. They're really close. But in order for them to be that close and not just degrade their orbit, they have to be going way faster around than the Earth is. So you basically have these like little pearls of satellites every 90 minutes or so are going all the way around the Earth, like outrunning it. And so the way it works is instead of you connecting to one satellite, you're basically connecting to multiple satellites. And as they're moving, they're jumping to the next satellite.
Oh, really?
The receiver's doing that. So you're constantly being jumped to another satellite.
You mean Russia's satellites?
Russia's satellites, exactly. Yeah, our whole network's going to be hacked by them.
If it hasn't already been.
It already has. Actually, that's the topic we should move into right now. Is like, holy shit,
Pucker Factor 1000. I'm like, I feel like I don't care how much it's on the news or how little it's on the news. It feels like it should be just the news right now. This is like, if they'd done the same thing in a physical sense, we would have been invaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And the thing is, like, we've lost all confidence. That's the thing that this does. There's no getting the confidence back from this. Even if we did everything,
people have so much confidence in us the last 4 years.
So if you guys are wondering what happened, there's a company called SolarWinds. So SolarWinds is this company that's basically like a military contractor that people buy software from, right? For
not just military, it's
everybody, right? It's like everybody, but our military trusts them, right? This is like the military vetted these guys and said that their software is safe, so it got integrated everywhere. Their software is used in our energy grid, in our nuclear arms storage and procurement, in our supply chain for everything. So the SolarWinds software,
Homeland Security.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. So the problem is somebody breached SolarWinds without them knowing it and infected the payload of their software with malware that had a bunch of backdoors in it. And thereby all the customers that got updates or new customers that downloaded their software inadvertently put this malware on their system. But it was
like almost 20,000. Almost 20,000 people downloaded it.
Yeah, and they're still trying to wonder if that's the limit of it, though, because remember, the systems that they hacked may have had privileged access to other systems. This is where it gets really complicated.
There's no way. They've been in there since June.
Yeah, and the amount of damage they can do, so they went to a couple of security firms that basically do analysis, like they do postmortems on this kind of stuff, and they're like, holy shit, there's literally no limit to what they could have done. Like there is no saying exactly what they did, because the level of access they had and the time that they had that access is so fucking unprecedented. Like there is literally nothing they couldn't have embedded themselves into. So just to let you know how bad this is. Now, the first thing people think is like, okay, now they know the software's hacked. Why don't they just uninstall the software, fix it, and reinstall the new one? Here's the problem. When there's a hack that's been online for that long and it's unchecked and there's that many people that had full unrestricted access to the system, the very first thing a hacker does is they put in their own backdoors. So now if they removed SolarWinds software from every one of these computers, the hackers still have complete access to all of it. So now you're like, well, why don't you just remove the backdoors? The problem is the 2 or 3 backdoors they've found so far are all technology they've never seen used before. These are brand new hacks and brand new methods that have never been used before by any other.
I didn't know that. Hack.
Yeah. So
where do you get this? What were you reading?
This was on. I think this was CNN that was talking to the contractor on the news this morning. I'm pretty sure it was either CNN or MSNBC that was talking to him, and he's like, "Well, the hackers the first thing they do, like when it's at this level, like this level of hack, is as soon as they gain access, they install more backdoors so that if you close one, they have others to go in through." The other thing they do is they call it information harvesting. So what they'll do is as soon as they gain access to the system, they download every conceivable piece of data they can get their hands on, so that if the door closes, they still have a workable piece of data that they can study moving forward. So the assumptions that we can make right now is that every company, including the Pentagon, our nuclear weapons arsenal, Homeland Security, our power grid, our fuel, like our fuel stores and how they're managed, all those companies had this shit. So we have to assume that all of the data that they had in all of their databases over this period of time has already been downloaded in its entirety, and the hackers have it. So even if we were to patch every hole and we were able to find everything and fix it right now, we know the hackers have everything as of this moment. So if they breach the database that shows where all our nuclear weapons are, that is already downloaded. So unless we go move around every single nuclear stockpile, now the enemy would have access to the data saying they know exactly where everything is.
Although I heard that, and maybe this was just early on, because I keep in mind that the info I got was from Security Now on Twit, was Gibson talking about it, who I love. I love that guy. And they were saying that it wasn't that the truly sort of the top secret stuff, the top tier of stuff is a different system. So but that they could possibly have used this level of access to then infiltrate the next one. Like they obviously had they must have had someone or some way in on SolarWinds, because the DLL or whatever it was that was corrupted or had the Trojan horse in it, that was actually signed. Like that was signed by the company. So they'd already they just assumed it was clear. I mean but critical systems have apparently a different level of restricted access that they don't. Yeah. Again, on Tuesday, they were saying they didn't have access to that. So maybe that's changed.
Yeah, that's actually the same thing happened with another program. It wasn't a government program though. There's a program called CC Cleaner. You guys will probably remember that back in the day.
Oh yeah,
that was created and distributed by a pretty trustworthy company, and somebody managed to actually not only compromise the binary but actually re-sign it successfully. So they use the infrastructure. So when you download it and you check the checksum, VeriSign approves and says that yes, the company did sign this binary, which means you should be able to implicitly trust it. And it turned out that spread a shitload of malware, and it actually ended up like irreparably damaging the company's reputation because the hackers were able to do that. Now scale that to something like this, where the hack has been in place for literally months and months and months and months, and all of these networks that were breached all had unrestricted access to like insane amounts of classified data. And
apparently, so sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, apparently no, I forgot what I was going to say now. No, sorry, carry on. Never mind.
So the Unity Tech said the FireEye security company get done over it and had to release some of their tools to protect others from them.
Yeah, they had to release their tools because they knew their tools basically their tools were out in the open, so they want everyone to have them so that everyone could figure out how to
try to find as many of the holes as possible. And a similar thing happened. Do you guys remember the breach that happened like a year or two ago where it was like WikiLeaks or something got a hold of all the tools that the FBI was using for remote surveillance?
Sure. Oh, right.
And Microsoft within 48 hours patched every single one of these holes. Some of them had been in since Windows XP. Like that just goes to show you, like Microsoft, there was exploits that gave you full root access to a Windows PC that were in there for like more than 10 years. That's crazy to even think about. Like Microsoft didn't even find these internally. The government found it up on a security audit, didn't tell Microsoft about it, but instead created a tool set to exploit it so that they could spy on anybody that was running Windows, domestic or foreign. And so once those tools were released to the public, Microsoft was then forced to fix all the holes. And the US government's like red cheeked, like, oh yeah, we probably should have told Microsoft about this, but we didn't. Instead, we utilized.
But this is it. Yeah, I mean, the other thing we got to keep in mind is that, like, if anyone thinks America is doing exactly the same thing, they're nuts because we're doing the best that we can. I'm sure to be in exactly the same situation. But man, that is like it absolutely freaks me out because
I don't understand how they're going to recover from this though, because you can't, because they already have the data, number one. So the only thing that you can protect now, presumably, if everything's perfect, is what you create moving forward. So if they already have information on like troop deployments or where fuel is or where we store things, like that's dangerous, because if you ever go to war, the first thing they're going to try to hit is infrastructure, right? You want to hide it.
Well, and we're not going to war anymore. Like this may be it. We may have just lost.
This is war. Yeah,
that's what I'm worried about.
Right.
Like I was talking about it with my son yesterday on the dog walk, and I was just saying I think we're investing money in the wrong things. Like I don't think it's going to be boots on the ground or planes in the air. It's all going to be technology. And if they own our technology, then Yeah, I mean, it's
100%.
worrying.
I mean, that's why like everybody was scared of Huawei, right? They're like, oh, they're reporting back to China. Well, yeah, they're probably their home servers are in China. And again, I thought the communists were the bad guys, right? So why have we been working hand in hand economically with them? But okay, like whatever. Like let's not go into that side of things. But like, what did you expect? You know, I mean, you think Samsung isn't monitoring every cell phone that they make? You think Apple isn't? Google,
we know
everybody.
Microsoft is gathering all sorts of information through their.
Yeah,
stuff. I mean,
we're afraid of the Chinese, but not the companies. Like at some point, the companies could leave the U.S. and now all your data is going wherever they go to. Like,
you know, I got an interesting ad the other day in front of a podcast, and it was for IBM's cloud service.
Sure.
But the ad was about, and it's okay, your data can be stored in Canada. And I thought that was really interesting, though, because normally you never hear that. But obviously, people are not. We're what do they call it? We're splinter netting. We're basically turning into these little like separate internets that are just for America, just for America, just for Canada. I mean, Jesus, that's gonna be one lame internet for Canada.
Look at what they do for video content. You know, Netflix, you get different stuff on your Netflix than I do versus the UK versus Germany.
But that's licensing rules. There's a lot of licensing rules.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sitting here reading about this hack, guys, and it's actually, there's a lot of similarities between this and the hack I was talking about earlier where the tool set was stolen from the FBI.
Yeah.
So the company FireEye, right, which is the cybersecurity firm that basically tests all the other companies to make sure they don't have vulnerabilities and keep their network secure. It looks like they're the ones that got their tool set stolen. So that's why they had to release their tools, right? Is because the hackers took their tools and used their tools to breach the networks.
I thought FireEye was the people who found it.
I don't think they found it. I think that people used their tools to expose it. According to this one I'm reading anyways.
Yeah, I see on this CNET article, FireEye also confirmed last week that it was infected with the malware and was seeing the infection in customer systems as well.
Yeah, so FireEye was a target. They weren't the ones
they got hacked.
Yeah, and it looks like their tools. They're seeing some hallmarks now that the tool set stolen from FireEye through that hack were then further used and leveraged to hack the other people. So
how do we start our own internet country? That's what internet
country.
I think it's happening right now, dude. Like
our own little data. No, I mean like the three of us.
Oh yeah.
Like we need to be like we need to like basically hack all the other systems and create our own little data repository. Like this is what's going to happen, right? I mean, like in a weird way, I feel like forget geographical borders anymore. Like it's going to be about data borders. Like what's your, like what is as you were saying, Ox? What's to stop like Facebook from just declaring themselves a freaking internet country, and that's it. They just have their own rules. They have their own data. They have, their own access.
I mean, if you think about it, there's already Google already proved that you can create a data center that's outside the reach of any law.
Oh yeah.
Like they literally created like an oil platform out in the middle of the ocean in international waters and like just created a giant data store on it and like put some military contractors there. And they're like, look, you can't touch us. We can put whatever we want on these servers.
Yeah.
Microsoft has sunken data centers too. Like, and then Google, that big thing that they were building outside of, what was it? LA. Everybody was, it was like a couple years back. Everybody was like, oh, what is Google doing with this boat or this weird platform out in this marina or whatever? It was huge. And yeah, it turned out it was like a floating data center that they wanted to send off the coast.
Yep.
And
this is different rules. Of course, there's different rules for stuff if it's not actually moored in the country.
Yeah.
We're going to be a floating internet.
That's the best way to do it, because if you're in international waters, every country has agreed that you are outside the scope of any law or any jurisdiction. You just can't come to land ever.
You come under.
That's it. We really are barnacles.
No, there's still like international maritime law. Like it's not just Wild West kind of stuff. Like I think you still have. I think what is it? It's supposed to be like 75 miles off the coast. You still. Like piracy and stuff is still frowned upon. Like if you come back,
back up our data to the moon.
Well, just remember, anybody you attack in international waters can also break the law and attack you back. So,
right.
And that does happen. Like there's ships that literally hire mercenaries. They just full on open up with like 50 cals and machine guns and freaking RPGs and shit to blow up the pirates. And they're perfectly legally able to do that. They just, once they go into harbor, they have to basically like store the weapons. The people have to have permission to use them. Like there's all kinds of rules. But in international waters, no, they can just blow up anything that like goes floating by them.
I think though what happens is like when you come back, or if you can be, if you can be brought to, like you attack my American boat,
that's like Sea Shepherd.
If we can catch you and bring you back to a U.S. territory or spot, they get you.
Yep.
But like, what are you going to do when you're out
issue.
at sea, right?
Yeah.
Like Sea Shepherd were out trying to stop, like Japanese trawlers from whaling or refueling in zones that are illegal to refuel in, right? They don't. Like, there are certain parts of the Arctic where you're not allowed to refuel because if you were to have an accident, you're going to kill countless species and whatever.
Right.
And so the Sea Shepherds would go and wedge themselves between the ships and stop them from refueling and stuff, but because of that, the captain, if he lands in certain parts, I think just about anywhere in the world now, he'll be arrested instantly. He has to stay.
To be fair, he has been arrested many, many times and bailed out. So is the entire crew. The Coast Guard has literally gone out, intercepted them, and arrested everybody on the ship and towed it in. So that's happened more than once.
Isn't there that pirate radio boat?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
A ship out in the middle of nowhere, and is that still a thing, or is that
I don't know if they
gone
the
now?
internet kind of killed that, didn't it? I mean, because you could sort of do that anywhere now.
Yeah. Or what's the name
of there was
McAfee?
pirate radio.
You guys remember McAfee? He's wanted by like 20 different countries now.
Oh my God, how wild is that?
Yeah, he just goes out into international waters and just spends weeks out there at a time, and he comes in under false information to get fuel and supplies, and he has an alias and everything. They still haven't caught him, as far as I know.
That is just wild.
That's cool.
And he's got like satellite phone internet or something because he's posting all the time. Like all the time he's posting videos of him talking about how the world should work and how he's running from the law and how they can't touch him out in international waters. And so far they haven't been able to. So
I think I may just go full survival in Alaska. I think I may just have to. I think just may have to pick up and move the fam. Well, but when Jane finally leaves me, I'll go and live up in Alaska. Somewhere.
It's actually the same with Scientology too. I heard their vessel isn't welcome safe harbor in like a ton of countries. Like they have very few places they can come in for supplies. What is it called? Fairwinds or whatever it is. What's that?
You mean their spaceship, their mothership?
Their mothership. Yeah, no. Yeah. Like so L. Ron Hubbard had this weird infatuation with being like a Navy commander. Like he loved to pretend that he was like military. So part of the whole Scientology thing, he's like, I'm just going to buy a giant boat and use slave labor to like rebuild it and make it nice. And I'm going to wear a fake commander outfit and act like I'm like the intergalactic commander of the Space Navy. And he just goes and cruises around the sea, and it's still out there. I think it's called the Fairwinds, if I'm not mistaken. But they can't come in to dock. They can't dock anywhere because every time they try to come in to dock the damn thing, they get shooed off because the whole Scientology thing isn't welcome in a lot of countries. Like here in the United States, we still allow them to come to harbor, which is like dumb, but they've been shooed off from so many countries now because they come into the country and people disappear. They basically just like, oh, come join our ranks, get on the ship, and then they go out to sea and they can't do nothing, right? There's nowhere to go.
That's going to be us, buddy, on the seas of the internet. Woo! The three of us on our oil rig of data.
Dude, that'd be cool. What's that one? There was this guy and his family, they took over an oil derrick or something like that. That the British had abandoned, and he created his own country, and it's like it was like
that's right.
It was like legitimately recognized by like Zimbabwe or something, and like their main export is titles. Like you can spend $200 or something, and you're a lord, a lady of Sea Nation or whatever it's called. Sealand.
That's it. Sealand. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we totally need like Barnacle Land.
Yeah,
dude, I'd pay to be like an admiral in Sealand.
That's sick. I would do that. It's like I don't know. It's just some weird thing out in the middle of. Sealand was founded as a sovereign principality in 1967 in international waters, 7 miles off the eastern shores of Britain. So he's not even that far.
Wow,
that's super cool. And why not?
I actually had the idea for Star Registry before Star Registry. And I was actually developing it in my early years at Microsoft and I ended up giving up on it because I was too busy with other stuff. It was basically called Gwid Shop. And basically what you did is you took the relative position of a star in the night sky and you'd basically use that number as a seed to generate a GUID, print it on a certificate, and send it to them, and basically notarize it is the company saying that you own that GUID, that nobody else, because GUIDs are pretty much infinite. So I was like, you own this GUID, you can sign shit with it, you can use it as a random seed, you can use this GUID for whatever you want, but it belongs to you, and no two are alike. And I started developing that shit, and I never did. And then I was like, damn it, Star Registry like blew up after that, and I was like, no.
Wait, $129. I could become a sir.
Yeah,
dude.
A sir of Sealand.
I can get a Sealand identity card. Oh my
Sir
God,
Seaman, reporting to duty, sir.
This is my dual citizenship in Sealand. I'm a duke of.
That's freaking.
Okay, I want to get in on this. Here, somebody link it in chat so we can all go look at this.
Oh, sorry. Here's the.
I want to see how much it's going to cost me to be a Lord Seaman.
It's not that much. It's like
$45 to be a lord, lady, baron, or baroness.
Lord Barnacules of Sealand. I love it.
I want the.
This is funny.
I want the identity card.
This is what we spend our super chats on, you guys.
Dude, I should make Jane a lady.
Do it.
There you go.
Oh my God! Talk about a great Christmas present.
Dude, you're gonna be sleeping on the couch though when you explain to her that you had to make her a lady.
Milady.
It's a constitution.
Why is it so expensive to become a count or countess?
Yeah, that doesn't even sound as cool.
Levels of rank.
Well, that's higher than a lady.
How much to be King Admiral? Like I want to be Admiral, King, Emperor.
Lord or lady is just somebody who owns property.
Wow, that's expensive.
Like landlord, right? So like that'd be low level. Anybody could be a lord of their little, front yard.
Damn it, where's this link?
I put it in there.
Yeah, we both did.
Really?
Yeah,
man. I don't see it in Skype. I don't see it in the public chat unless it went off the screen. Hold on here.
Lord Barnacules, your link awaits.
Where the hell is it? Am I
I
blind?
just put it in. I'll put it in again. Here you go. I'll put it in again. There you go.
It must
literally spammed the chat a million times.
Yeah, we're about to get booted by.
I'm not even kidding, guys. My filter is preventing it from showing up in my chat. You guys are both like shadow banned. Like it's not showing up in my chat. The last thing I see is from Lost Roaming and Jigga. That's it.
That is insane.
You can enter any name you want. Oh my God.
Oh, there we go. That'll work.
It's like 1,000. It's like $1,000.
No, I don't know where the words, like the actual word of the title, comes from. Probably, I don't know.
Is this probably all legit?
Here we go. The Principality of Sealand.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's see. Okay, I got to look at this. So our history, become a lord or a lady, latest news.
I think I should make Jane a lady.
Oh, shit. I watched a YouTube video on this place. You can go stay there, can't you?
Yeah.
Like you can fly out on like a helicopter, go out on a boat, and stay there like a bed and breakfast.
Oh my God, this is brilliant.
These people are geniuses.
It absolutely is. Absolutely. But how do we do it?
Dude, you can get an identity card and it looks just like a passport or something.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I want an identity card.
Okay, we need to do this. Okay, guys, I think that I'm okay. Starting next week, I'm gonna be selling on my store ID cards for Nerdgasm land.
Oh, but you have to have a land though. We gotta figure out how to create because you want to be able to legitimately do this like these guys are doing.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Can I say my body is a landmass that is unmolested by my government? Like, am I a sovereign nation beyond my skin?
I don't know. I think that body's been quite molested.
Yeah, there's not much left to sell, guys. It's been sold about as much as it can be sold. That would be funny. God. Okay, so what is the cheapest piece of land that we could buy somewhere? There's got to be some little 3 foot by 3 foot island out in the middle of the ocean that only shows up 2 days out of the year. That's like $100.
I'm sure there are plenty of uninhabited islands and stuff out in the Pacific that you could just find.
Okay, I got a challenge for the chat here. If you guys want to help us out, if you can find a piece of land, just a piece of land anywhere, I don't care, even if it's in the United States, and we can we'll annex it. We'll do like those guys did in Nevada, where we're just sovereign country. We'll basically create the virtual CHOP. Right. If you can find us a piece of land that's a couple of $100, let me know. Let me know, because we're not going to build anything there. Like it will literally just be a owned piece of land, and we will sell it out by the cubic tenth of a millimeter to be a citizen, to build your digital, and then one day we'll put a hard drive there that you can put shit on or something. I don't know, but yeah, no. If you guys can find that, please tweet me at Barnacules and give me a link to it, because if
your budget? They're asking what your budget is.
Couple $100. Couple $100.
throw in $100.
I'd throw in $100.
So $300 or less. If you can find a piece of land, it can be a cubic foot. I don't give a shit. Like as long as we can legally purchase it and actually own that piece of land, and the property taxes is like 73 cents a year. Like that's fine.
That'd be great.
We're gonna literally just sell the shit out of that to people to come live on our digital land.
Hey, wait a second. Are they going to charge us tax?
They probably
I better
have
look
to.
into what this does for taxes.
Well, I mean, if it's a $300 piece of property, even if the tax is astronomical, we're probably only going to pay like $1 a year.
No. I was thinking about Sealand. If I make Jane a lord, does that mean she's got to do a tax return?
Oh yeah, you might want to check on that. You might have to like fill out extra forms and like lose your tax
know what? Jane
exemptions.
does not. It would not be a gift for Jane if I gave her like extra forms to fill out.
Paperwork.
Dude, how bad would that piss you off if you did something like that as a joke and the U.S. government like sends you an audit and says, "Oh, unfortunately, because you're in this land, you can't sell. You capital gains taxes 10 times more. You didn't read the fine print." So you're a citizen.
Just filled out a form that says you're a citizen of Sealand. So
oh my gosh, I could see that going like completely batshit wrong. Or you get deported. Like you have some weird like dictator like law to like run all the immigrants out of the country, and they're like, sorry, anybody with dual citizenship, we're gonna take away your U.S. status. And you're like, shit, why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Oh, wait a second. It says noble titles are not recognized under international law and cannot be used on any legal or official forms or documents in any country. Oh, well, screw that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Well, then we could just sell them. Let's just sell them because that's what they're doing.
Yeah, no.
I almost fell for it. I almost dropped $100.
Hey, this does not change anything. We're still buying a little piece of land and we're still going to sell it to like 100,000 people like a damn timeshare nobody can use. This is a good idea. I'm telling you, this is a good idea up until somebody comes in our house in the middle of the night and stabs us for it.
What about can't we just get a bit of the moon or something?
Oh, there you go. I mean, nobody can say you can't technically own the moon, so I don't think there's any rules saying we can't artificially lease it for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, like could you register a piece of the moon or lay claim to a certain?
Dude, that would actually be kind of fun. Like have a random number generator. It's like you own the third rock from this closest to this latitude and longitude, and just randomly generate it, and then sell it to somebody and send them a little certificate for like $100. It's like you own the moon rock that's closest to this position. That'd be pretty funny. That's a good idea. Please, nobody steal that because that's actually a pretty actionable idea.
Please, nobody steal it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I say please
right?
because I think it might improve the odds by like 0.1%.
Wow.
You know what sucks is anytime you publicly talk about this stuff, it's like you'll think, nah, I'm never going to do it. It was just a joke. And then somebody will go do it and be like the next billionaire. Like in 3 weeks, we're going to hear about, up-and-comer James Franklin, had this great idea to sell certificates to the moon. And it gets like all the advertisement on all the news stations. And we're just sitting there kicking ourselves in the ass.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll sue the shit out of them. We got video proof right now. This is like video. What do they call like when you registered mail or whatever? Poor man's patent. Yeah. This is our poor man's patent.
It timestamps us as the people who came up with it. Except that Sealand came up with it long before us.
And if you fuckers try to sell the moon, you know what we'll do? We'll sell Titan, okay? We'll keep moving out. There's lots of moons.
Yeah.
The asteroids. Nobody can tell you how many asteroids out there you own. Yeah, go find the asteroid out there.
That's where it's in the language, right? You don't say which asteroid you own. You just say they own the asteroid closest to this spatial coordinate.
Yeah.
So then you're fine, right? Legally, I think you're protected. I mean, I would have to talk to a lawyer, but you're like, you don't own the asteroid specifically because if it moves or something and it comes into orbit, then you might be able to like claim some bullshit, right?
Like that convoluted in The Martian where he declared himself a pirate because of all these.
Because he's technically in international waters.
David Hewlett, space lawyer.
Oh my gosh. I mean, literally, who's going to stop us? What is the Curiosity rover going to come over and like steal someone's rock and get us sued? Like, no.
Jason Smith, if you're still watching, get in touch with me. This is another website idea. We're going to start selling asteroid property.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Houston, I want in on that shit. I want in on your asteroid sales, and you can get in on my moon sales, and David can just own it all because he actually probably has a real lawyer, so David can probably own us all.
I'm gonna become a space lawyer.
There you go. David's the space lawyer, and Houston, you can be the space prospector.
Yeah.
So AuxxZillary, space prospector, and then I'll just be, I don't know, I'll be Gravity, I guess.
Yeah. And Jim the Evo, James Gurney will be our space doctor.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Lunar land. Somebody trying to tell me there's
Yeah, every idea we're coming up with right now has already probably been done to death. There's like some billionaire. I did that back in the 80s.
Well, you can buy those stars forever, and no one has. And that's completely made up too. I mean, if you just want to rip people off, there's a million ways to do it. But I mean, I think I would love like a legitimate way of like seceding like a part of. You know what? Actually, let's open it up to Canada as well, or England for that matter. Like if there's any other bits of the world anywhere that we could. I got 3 passports, so I got 3 options for us to own a country. So,
man.
Did I ever tell you guys about my most legally dubious idea that I still own the domain for? That What's I never actually did because the lawyer was like, "Yeah, you're gonna get fucked if you do this." so I actually own the domain pay to win. So pay2.win. I own that. So no shit. I paid like $800 for that fucking thing.
Wow.
So actually, no. To be clear, Adam paid $800 for that fucking thing because we had an idea. And what we were going to do is we were literally going to create a site that cuts out like the Raid Shadow Legends and and all that bullshit gaming thing. And all you do is you just pay to win. You PayPal money and it moves you up a board based on how many dollars you donate.
That would be great.
But when we talked to the lawyer, and the lawyer's like, dude, you are going to just fucking, you're dead if you do that. Like,
why? Well, why? What's the deal?
I'm sure we could. You add in just enough squeakiness so that you're in the rules, right?
Yep.
Like. Heck, and you could even make it like PvP in a sense. It's like
that was the point. Is if somebody below you went above you, you would get an email notification saying that you got bumped down the list, and you could push a button and get back to the top.
Like snakes and ladders, but battle royale. Like
I'd have to put some kind of a gaminess on it
every month.
Because the problem is they considered it gambling.
Sure.
Because like you're literally paying and you're moving up and somebody else can bump you and basically move you off the list, so then you have to put more money in to get back again. So it's like it basically works out like a gambling model.
Isn't that advertising though? That's basically advertising. The biggest bidders gets the top spot.
I just need to find a lawyer that will literally sign a contract saying, "Listen, I will defend you for whatever the lump sum is that we get out of the lawsuit or countersuit."
I'll bet nowadays there's probably enough gray area where it could work. Like you just basically like reset the list once a month and call it, like a battle, a PvP thing. It wouldn't be much different than AFK Arena or anything where like.
Yeah, I may revisit this idea now. I may actually revisit it because I've had the domain and I pay for it every year. So.
Make a game that if you pay a certain amount, you get a weapon that just instantly obliterates everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole idea, though, is I wanted to keep it so stupid simple because it was based on the idea of the pixel. Remember, you could buy the pixel on that website? Like everybody could buy one pixel on the website and it was like $10 a pixel or whatever. And they sold out the entire website back in like the 90s.
Yeah, why not?
So I decided that this would be cool because people are really competitive and it plays on that model of if everybody's starting out at like $1.50. And by the end of like a month or two, you have like the top 10 or $10,000. And then you have some fucking Saudi Arabian prince that's like, oh shit, this got some media coverage. I want to be on top. And then they do it and they go on top. And it's literally pay to win. Like that's the entire objective is the more you pay, the more you win.
It can't be direct, right? Direct payments. You add a second layer. You have to buy Barna bullets, right, for $1 a piece, and then you use the Barna bullets to shoot the guy who's higher on the list than you, and you take over his spot. And so whoever's got the most Barna bullets can like defend their spot. It's a king of the hill kind of thing. So just
add a gaming mechanic, and once there's a gaming mechanic,
just add the stupidest gaming thing, or
and you can you'll earn one Barna bullet every 30 minutes or something. But then if you want, you can buy more Barna bullets for 50 cents a piece or whatever.
Do you have a cryptocurrency?
Barna coins?
I do have Barna coins. Yeah. Never went anywhere, but I do have Barna coins.
You gotta buy Barna coin to buy the Barna bullets.
That's it. And make it the most complicated thing in the freaking world.
All right, if somehow I resurrect this idea, I will pay you guys handsomely for your input.
Dude, I think
when I came up with the idea, it was a winner. It's just I wanted to avoid any kind of legal liability, just because I don't like that.
I'm gonna go on Fiverr right now and find somebody to make us a quick mobile game that's based on this idea for $100. This is what we should be doing instead of buying weird property.
Just direct pay to win.
That'll fund the weird property.
Yeah, that's it. There's got to be a game called Pay to Win.
The cryptocurrency thing's interesting to me because the kids are all obsessed with Bitcoin, right? They're obsessed with the where it goes.
Yeah.
And and what I was saying to them, they could, you could just create your, like, there's nothing to stop you from just making your own, like, version of Bitcoin, like a bandit coin of some sort, or that library thing, which I still haven't looked into enough. Barnacules, you were talking about this library site that has its own like cryptocurrency that you can basically start working with or whatever. Was that it? Is that?
I know that there's websites that actually do crypto mining on the back end using JavaScript and stuff like that. Like just being on the web page, you're mining coin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they definitely do that. Yeah, yeah. In fact, there was a big concern about that because a lot of them weren't even telling people they were doing that. Yeah,
and actually making a crypto coin is actually really easy. Barnacoin took me like 45 minutes to make. All I did was take Bitcoin and just change the hash on it and change the name, and then basically just start the network and produce a blockchain.
Nice.
And once you do that, then anybody that downloads it or whatever, they just download your blockchain and they replicate it, and it works just like Bitcoin. The more people that download it, the more people that mine it, the more secure the network is. The problem is I'm not popular enough to grow the network fast enough that you could easily get somebody who could bring on 50% more mining power, and then they would have control of the coin. Because there's nothing I could do. They would make the decision. The majority of the network makes the decision, so they could fork the coin, say that they want to change all the rules, and then there's nothing I can do about it because I don't have enough CPU power to throw at it to counter that. So that's why a crypto coin wouldn't be good, like creating your own crypto coin, is that it would be really easy for like a Chinese data center or something like that to come online and just rip it away from you.
Sure.
Really?
Yep. That's unfortunately one of the downsides to cryptocurrency is it's owned by the majority always. That's how you decentralize it. And unless it gains enough critical mass, that's why you notice a lot of new coins fail. Like the only ones that have really made it are the ones that grew to critical mass so fast that like nobody had complete control of the network. And now it's too big that there's not enough computing power that you can buy to gain control of the network. Like Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin, everybody just gets disinterested. Like everybody loses their wallets, everybody's screwed, everybody loses everything, they lose interest. Then some, as soon as everybody stops mining it, then all it takes is one country like China just saying, fuck it, we're going to keep mining it anyways. And as soon as they do that, now they can fork it, they can alter the code, they can manipulate the blockchain, they can do whatever the fuck they want at that point. And nobody else has a say in it because they will be the trusted part of the network.
So right now, someone is probably trying to get control of Barnacoins right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they probably already have. I mean, I mined Barnacoin for like a day, and I don't even remember. I might have uploaded the code to GitHub. If I didn't, then nobody could have done it. They would have needed the code to be able to mine it because you have to have the private key. So in the code, so in the miner, so the algorithm. If the algorithm isn't there and they can't run it, then they can't get the coin. So
only you could mine it.
Correct.
So that's how you could.
Yeah, and that same thing happened with Bitcoin. What you do when you create a cryptocurrency, and this is why no other cryptocurrencies ever become valuable, really, is because the people are greedy. They bring the cryptocurrency online, and then they mine it themselves for like 30 days. They collect like 100,000 coins, and then they wait for the coin release to basically drop the timer to go down, so less coins are going out. And then when they do that, then they proliferate it to the rest of the network. And then as everybody else builds up the coin and gives it value, you have the majority stake in all the coins in the network. So you can turn around and just sell your entire stake and crash the cryptocurrency.
Right.
And that's happened. That happened like a couple times with Dogecoin. It happened with Litecoin. It happened with Ziffercoin.
Which is Dogecoin?
Dogecoin was only popular because it was the dog face, you know, Doge or doggy.
Right.
Or whatever. Right. So Dogecoin actually did gain some value, but the problem is what they do is they gain a little bit of value, and then the one dude that has like 1 million of that coin will just dump it all. And then when he dumps it all, it crashes the entire value of the currency. Then everybody loses interest, and then they leave, and it never recovers. So in order to create a successful cryptocurrency, you need to make sure that if you do that and you secure a bunch of those coins, that you never dump them all at once and you hold them for a really long time until it's actually valuable. Because then even if you sell off big lots of the coins later on, there's enough value in the network that you don't crash it.
Right.
But the problem is you always have some greedy sumbitch that's like, oh, if I sold all my Zifter coins today, that would be like $10 million. And then as soon as you do that, it crashes the value of the coin down to where the next biggest guy in the network might have 10 of them and they're only worth like 1 cent a piece. You know, so it's like you made $10 million, but nobody else can make anything. So then everybody just cuts their losses and walks away. So, but the only coins that really made it through is like, I mean, you got Bitcoin, obviously, which is the king. Although Bitcoin has problems now because it's not creating coins as often. It's not paying out as often. And it's really difficult to mine because the more people that are mining, the higher the difficulty goes. So you end up in the situation where it's like not profitable to mine. For a lot of people, it's the coin is just worth too much that like nobody's buying it. Like to trade it, like to buy one coin is like what, $10,000, $12,000 or something like that. So then you have to
Right.
start buying fractions of a coin to trade fractions of a coin, and then it's not going up and down fast enough to really interest people because they're day trading. So you end up with a currency that kind of stagnates, but it's still worth a lot. Like, it's got so much value just in the fact that it's implemented everywhere, like with ATMs, and you can physically use this currency in the real world. It's the closest any cryptocurrency has come to being a usable currency in the real world. And then you have Ethereum. Ethereum is the big one, and Ethereum is literally parasitic. So Ethereum is what's keeping Bitcoin alive right now, because Ethereum is still profitable to mine, and you can transact Ethereum into Bitcoin and vice versa through exchanges like Coinbase. Sure. So because of that, what people are doing is they're opting to mine Ethereum, which is a more profitable currency to mine, but then they're transacting it into Bitcoin, which is an easier currency to spend in the real world. So because of that, it's like they're symbiotic, right? Because everybody's mining the Ethereum, then they're selling it to the Bitcoin. That way you don't have to have as many people mining Bitcoin. And because not many people are mining Bitcoin, it's more profitable for the people that are mining it. And so it kind of all balances itself out. But that's why you don't see a lot of coins really get super profitable. A lot of them stagnate.
There's going to be a lot more interest now, though, because there's all that press about it hitting 20,000 for the first time and all that jazz.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. Like, Bitcoin has literally crashed down to almost nothing and come back 50 times now. Like, I
saw it got down to like 2,000, I think, at one point.
Dude, and it's high. It's 23,000 before it burst. So, and you have to realize that right now it's not paying out many coins, which means the odds of you getting a coin off the network, which it's super valuable if you do, right? It's like winning the lottery. It's like one coin's like 12 grand or whatever, 15 grand. Now, instead of mining, what a lot of people are doing, because the only way you're going to get a coin is through pool mining, which means you're sharing with a million other people. So even if you do win the coin, you're not getting much of it. So, but the better way now is just to day trade the currency, and that's what a lot of people do. They'll go onto Coinbase, they'll buy low, wait for it to go up a little bit, and dump it, right? And they'll just do that day trading action, and then that stimulates the blockchain, and that keeps the currency relevant and worth something. However, you still have events even in Bitcoin, even with as girthy as that, the people just come in and just drop shitloads of it. Like people that have just been camping on coins or had coins forever, they just come into the network and they just drop a shitload of these, and then that devalues the currency like really, really badly. So it's self-balancing. The one thing that Bitcoin proved is that it actually, even though it's not completely, it can be fucked with. There are people that have hacked in successfully and stolen coins, but usually the weakness isn't the cryptocurrency itself. The weakness is the wallets and the people hosting the blockchains.
Yeah, user error.
Yeah, yep. And so it's proven secure. People are learning to trust it now. It's like it's actually wildly secure just because of the sheer number of people that are transacting it every day.
Let's say Motu, Matahi location, French Polynesian coast, $249,000. 1.8 acres, move-in ready. Undeveloped Tahitian islet features swaying palms and white sand, apparently.
Ooh.
Should we all just go in like 3 ways and we'll just all move there and just declare it our own nation?
Yeah. Again, when Jane leads me.
Yeah, all we got to do is get Richard Branson to come stay like 2 days on our island and tell him he's the only person that ever gets to visit that island ever, and it'll just cost him $3 billion.
There you go.
Didn't he sell his island? I thought he sold it.
He did. He did. No, I think it was the fund to continue the funding on Virgin Galactic.
Yeah, and I think he was like getting nailed by like every single storm on the planet too, wasn't he?
Yeah, dude, that island was nuts. Did you ever see that TV show he did around that island? There was actually a TV show with a bunch of series where he literally brought a bunch of contestants out to the island and just did crazy shit with them. Like one of them was like flying under a helicopter in a suit like Superman and like flying back and forth over the island like whee with a cable on you under a helicopter.
Weird.
It was kind of a dumb show and it didn't last very long. But it was just Richard Branson was like, it'd be cool. Let's just take everybody out to my island and make them do like really crazy stuff they'd never do before. Oh, thank you, baby. You want to say hi to everybody?
These are
because everybody else is like bringing their ladies on. Like,
oh really?
Yeah. Say hello.
Well,
how's it going?
You're so pretty. I love you.
Thanks.
How you doing?
Thank you for the coffee.
You're welcome. I couldn't make you.
And the hat.
I figured.
Yeah. Oh.
These are just islands, though. These aren't countries. I want my own freaking country, man. Oh, we want to know.
Oh, you can't hear? You want to hear what they're saying? Here, actually, can you take over for me? I got to go take a dump really quick, guys. I'll be back. I'm going to put my wife on to fill in for me. I'll be as fast as possible. I'll squeeze until my eyes are like turning red. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Man, you're going to hurt yourself.
It'll be fine. Yeah, I'll turn down the volume so I don't blow up my
wife going to follow that up?
Ew.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Okay, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
All right, if it's too loud, that's the knob right there. See that one?
Yep.
That's the volume knob.
Thank you.
And here's your hat.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm going to step away and take a dump, and I'll be right back.
That's so lovely.
This is welcome, Miss Barnacules, to TechTalk.
Well, I thought I said a lot. Woo.
Isn't that a lovely?
Oh man,
What a lovely intro for Mrs. B.
It's already evaporated.
Okay, good. I am a sweaty sumbitch. Let me tell you.
I am too.
Well, I'm freezing.
Okay.
It's all right. Sweat is just lube. Am I right?
Ew.
Oh, man, it just gets worse and worse.
Hi.
Mrs.
Hi.
B.
Oh,
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. That was quite an intro by your charming husband.
What can I say?
Yeah.
Everybody wants them. No.
That's it. We're talking about getting a country for us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
We got to find.
Hopefully for a deal.
Right? Yeah. That's
someone has made sure that was it. Kamar. I can't even say it. CMOPIRW.
Oh, CMOPAR.
CMOPAR.
Wow.
So splits to Aux and Mrs. B. There you go.
Oh, nice. We're not even in Barnacules. That's great.
Nope.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, that was us.
Yeah.
I'll just forward it to you. An extra.
That's like
$5. Just out
$5 you can invest in Barnacules coins.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. Those will be good. That'll be good.
Oh, excuse me.
Epic Games still going on about mining bitcoins.
Yeah.
Hi, Miss Liz.
Boy, it starts. I tell you, people just get so excited about this whole Bitcoin thing.
I mean, it is pretty cool. I like the concept of it. I like the.
I don't think I really get it.
I don't think anyone does. That's the problem.
I'm curious. What I don't understand is the underlying technology, the blockchain thing.
Right.
And I just haven't put the effort into figuring it out. But
I've read a bit about it. But
it's all about trust, right?
Yeah.
And that goes for any currency nowadays because nobody's on a solid, there's nothing backed by gold or anything anymore. So it's all about the trust. It's, backed by the full faith of the U.S. government, right? That the idea that the U.S. dollar or anything has value is that there's trust that the value of it is what they say it is, right? Mm-hmm. There's no, and so like it's just I don't know, it's all trust based, and so that's where I think the value of Bitcoin comes in, is that you trust the verification of the transactions.
That there's going to be some value to it at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, so the kind of a fun little thing that happened to us was a friend of mine was really into Bitcoin, and one of his friends had started a really cool service, which I don't think is going anymore, but it was they basically had gift cards for Bitcoin.
Right.
Okay.
So how does that work?
Well, yes, this was the neat thing. So it would set you up with a little wallet, and you'd get the card, and you'd go to their site, and you'd fill it in, and then to get you started, you could buy like $20 worth of Bitcoin, basically.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we did that. We had one of these cards. He gave us one like as a promo. He's like, he's giving these away. Like he just bought a bunch of Bitcoin when it was worth nothing. And he has to get the people on his wallet. Yeah. He gave these cards away. So we put it in, and it was $15, I think it was when we got it. And we put it in, and then I just sort of forgot about it. And then I saw this big Bitcoin thing, and I was like, oh, it's doing well. Baz, we should check and see what that $15 is worth. It's now worth $72.
Nice.
Hey.
Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, goodbye, everybody.
See you later.
We're that boring. It's true.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, he's,
We've driven him away.
He's fine. He's got things to do. He's a busy guy.
Oh, yeah.
That is so cool. That would be interesting, like how my grandma, she gave me something, I don't remember, a very long time ago. It started off, I think, like $25, and then it grew and it grew and it grew, and it's like well over 5,000 now, I think, or maybe it's like 3,000 or something like that. But it's like, that would be like something interesting to buy and give to children and be like, when you're older, come talk to me about this or whatever, or just hold it for them and be like, look, keep an eye on this.
Yeah.
My father did that, but they were with shares that are now no longer worth anything.
I feel powerful.
Does that make you feel powerful?
Don't look behind the curtain.
Whoa. Very Wizard of Oz.
That was
very Wizard of Oz.
We're talking about Bitcoin.
Oh, that's fun.
And I'm learning things.
Yeah, that is stinky though, isn't it?
It's a little stinky, you know. They could flavor it with cotton candy. It smells
Hey,
like
you know-
like a roasted marshmallow with a little hint of plastic.
You can get zero nicotine vape flavor, and
Of course, why can't you get zero?
And put it. No, you'd put it into the fog stuff. It's still all ethylene glycol or whatever, right?
Cherry soda.
So then, then you would just like, what does it do for you though when you're inhaling it, when it's not being put through a vape?
Well, I think they do that so people can, so they can.
No, he's talking about like putting it in there so that it smells better.
You like wean yourself off
the
the nicotine.
Put the flavor juice in there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't do anything, right? Like it just, or would you just
at the zero part? Yeah, you're not getting high or whatever.
Because I have issues about like that falling all over stuff, and then Xander coming up here. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, it's like. They
like
say
I don't
it's
know,
not...
like you know how there's smokers and stuff like that, and then they go and send you gifts and stuff like that, and then everything reeks to high heaven. That is so cool, man.
Well, and they say it's fine for you, but it's fine for you in small doses.
Right.
Here you go, kiddo. Just have a little hit of nicotine.
Exactly. They always do because they use those machines on set, and whenever they use them on set, they have to give you paperwork that says that you are about to breathe this stuff.
Right.
Right.
And then the crew all puts giant masks on, and the actors walk around without them. That's generally how it works.
That is very deceiving.
That's it. They're like, it's fine as long as you're not in it every day.
Well, that's
I'm like,
the whole
I'm in it every day.
In this COVID situation. It's like, you know, you can't go into Denny's and sit down and have a meal, but let's send the kids back to school. That sounds great.
I don't understand it.
How does that work? How does that compute?
I think that must be just economy related because people can't. Like I just think it just stops people from going to work because their kids are at home, right?
Right. Which is silly because a lot of shit can be done at home anyway.
Right, exactly. Well, but here's the thing: you can do like if you guys need more money, just up the taxes. I mean, right? I don't know. Like,
well, they're going to. I think they're going to, though, right?
I mean, I've already seen prices of everything go up, and it's like, okay, well, you know, like, what is it that you truly need? Why do you need the kids at the school? Is my question. But again, we can't go to Denny's and sit down and have a meal. I can take it to go, and they can still make their own. They can still make money. So, what is it that the schools need? Why do we have to physically be there?
Yeah.
I think the assumption is that the kids don't get it as bad for the most part, but they're still bringing it home.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you've got your grandparents with you.
That's not the issue, and there are kids dying, unfortunately, so we can't forget about those kids. But, you know, like, they can still pass it on, and I don't know, and like, they're the worst about washing. I mean, they're probably 1,000 times better than they were before, but... You know,
luckily, Baz is as uptight as I am, so he does a lot of
right. I mean, even Xander's like, I'm not gonna. He's now actually even playing outside with the mask. Like he gets it now, but before I don't think that he would have been like, no, I'm not gonna wash my hands. I'm not gonna be safe, kind of thing. Ugh. So you know
what?
My hands all the time.
And I'm all for that. I'm like,
you can do if you take a swab of his hand and then you culture it.
The agar dish.
That freaks them out.
That would be really good. But then I don't want to turn him into a germaphobe because I already have one in the house. And having
now you can have two. Collect them all, Mrs. B.
Right? Then the house will be clean, super clean.
No, you have to have a little ick. If you don't make your body strong, in my opinion,
I agree.
You are going to be going out into the world and you're gonna get a slap in the face. So I think a little ick is going to be just fine. It's gonna build
a little ick.
Make you a little stronger. A little ick.
Right? Yeah.
I was married to a Hungarian, and there was a saying that they had. They said, "Child die if it doesn't eat dirt."
There you go.
And the idea I'm okay with the not eating dirt thing. I don't like the flavor or the grit. But
there's a condition you can get that makes you want to eat dirt.
Weird.
It's like a pregnancy thing. That's weird. There's some kind of I can't remember what the condition is, but it's like. Pregnant women will sometimes be like compelled to eat dirt, and it's got something to do with the pregnancy stuff.
Yeah, it's I've heard of that before, and it's like I never had that. I wanted chips.
What did Jane want? I'm trying to think what Jane wanted. Probably
all the time,
just
potatoes, like anything potatoes for me. That's what I craved.
I think Jane just wanted a stiff drink. I think she just wanted a gin and tonic. She couldn't wait to finally have the kid off the breast.
Well, definitely. I mean, you gotta have. I have my favorite drinks as well. And with Xander, it's funny because he doesn't like potatoes very much. I mean, he'll eat fries.
Got enough of that.
But that is not his craving. His craving is chocolate.
Really?
But yeah, so it's really funny that like I had to have all of these potatoes, and I have no idea why. I mean, I love potatoes, but when I was pregnant, I really loved potatoes. But for him, he's like, I can take it or leave it. I don't.
Maybe it's because they were in dirt.
Maybe
that's what
Maybe
it
that's
is.
it.
I do love dirt. Blown.
It's like Barnacules is like a ghost in the background working his marketing magic.
He is, right?
You got to spend a little money to make a little money.
You know what? I thought about tipping, but we get less back because we spend to do that, and then YouTube takes money. So I'm like, do I really tip, or should I not? Because then we actually lose money when I tip.
Yeah.
But it also looks cool.
No, I think there's value enough in just you being here. I think.
I'm trying to do my job.
And hyping me up.
I am.
That's your job.
Yep.
Today only, Mrs. B.
Right.
Talking Bitcoin.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Because I tried to like wrap my head around Bitcoin because I don't think I truly get it because it sounds like it's pirating. You're looking for gold, but where is this gold at and who stored it? Like I don't get it.
Math stored it.
Yeah, like I said, it all comes from the trust. Like, and that's the value of any currency is really a function of trust in the government or system that is backing that currency.
Okay.
And so,
but the mining part of it is just like an algorithm they've created, right?
They're skimming the top, right? Is that what it is, or
your Bitcoin, like as you mine Bitcoin, you are confirming transactions that are on the registry or that are a part of the chain. There's a block, and you look at the block and you go through it and you do whatever the math stuff is, and it comes back and you say, yep, this block is correct, and you put it back, and you get a piece that generates trust in you. Right, your confirmation is looked at as a blip of trust, and so that's why you only get like a piece of a fraction of a Bitcoin for every transaction that you confirm.
Okay. It's an incentive, really, to make sure that people are actually doing all the boring administrative stuff as well, or that their processing power is doing it.
Cool. I think I'm pretty. That's my low-level understanding of how there can be value from basically nothing.
Right, because that's what I was getting. I'm like, what? Are they stealing? That is so cool.
Oh, we got a $10 super chat from Thady Leah and
Dark
Jedi.
Thank
Hold on, we'll
you.
give all the colors. Hold on.
Eric Dark Jedi.
Huggles. That is so cool.
But half of it's got to go to Mrs. B, though.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a giant, like, cumulus nimbus cloud above us.
It is. That looks awesome.
That stuff hangs around.
It reminds me of a smoker. Like, I really want to get one. I don't know if either of you guys have one.
Actually, I need to get the Robert offered me his Traeger, and I need to do that.
Yeah, get on that. Oh my gosh.
Miss Liz, what are you doing?
Oh, Miss Liz. That is so cool.
Yeah.
You should be paying Miss Liz.
Right?
I know, right?
For all the hard work.
I keep like every year I'm like, we got to send something to our mods.
Yeah.
And
how many mods do you have?
We have, I don't know, like active, of course, is Miss Liz, and
we probably have about 4 or 5 active mods.
Exactly.
And then quite a few inactive ones I need to go through.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have them, but they're like, you don't really want to get rid of them, but we also don't want to.
I've got Cal. I've got Cal the Hammer, I call her, because she's just like, she's like relentless. She's amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
And she never sleeps.
I'll send them all shirts after the holiday mail debacle.
There we go. We're going to send them all shirts.
Yeah, in January.
I meant to send shirts. I haven't done it. God, I'm too late on all of that. It's like I missed Christmas this year.
I know, it kind of snuck up on us, even though like the year's been dragging, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I
feel like the days drag, but the weeks zip by. It's the weirdest thing.
Right? I know. Yeah, this one's mine. I love that the leopard one, or you guys call it the stripper.
Sexy hat. Yeah.
Sexy hat.
That's it.
Oh.
Ryan W. Morning from Canada. And Merry Christmas.
Yay.
Where in Canada, Ryan?
Yeah,
love it.
that thing has to charge in between, right?
No, it actually, well, not for long, no.
Well, then why didn't you do it for Miss Liz?
Oh, sorry, Miss Liz, here you go.
There we go. This is for Miss Liz. My gosh. I thought I had to charge. That's why I didn't do it.
No, I just, if I push it too long, it sets off the smoke alarm.
Oh, that's true. We don't want to do that.
Very true, Tammy. I shouldn't forget Ruby
like,
K, too. Ruby K is also one of our mods who's fantastic.
Nice.
The more I use it, the longer it takes to go away.
Yes. It's not marijuana.
Oh, it is.
It's
we can
not.
tell you can't even say it.
Yeah, see?
Wanna get high?
I'm out. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, well, did you want to take back over? Because I'm probably not as nearly as intelligent as
No,
you.
everybody said
What?
that I lost.
Way more excited.
Oh, okay, really?
Way more excited.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, okay, cool.
I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
go, it's up to you, baby.
No, will you go get my copy, though?
Yeah, where's that?
That's it. You got this down. You have to
She's like,
start sending him out for
who's the bitch
copy.
now, huh? Who's the bitch now?
Now I can see why he does this. Can you go get me coffee?
All right,
Hey.
If Mr. V
quiet.
is watching,
never mind,
can I have a coffee, please?
Get your orders in now.
That's awesome.
Oh, actually, hang on just a sec. I have to step away for a little while.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
Sounds
All right.
good.
I can be the last man standing here. It's gonna, or just it's just gonna be just you, Mrs. B.
Yep. That's okay. We can handle this, right?
That's it. We got this down.
Yeah.
What now? How are you feeling about the whole Christmas season thing? You feel like you're ready to do this?
Oh my gosh. I don't even have decorations up. I am really failing. So like
Jane's already made Christmas cakes.
Really, I need to get going on my baking. I've got fudge on the list. I have cookies, of course. Thank you.
There you go, sweetheart.
Thank
Fudge.
you,
Oh,
Mr.
Xander's
B.
pretending he's live streaming, by the way, downstairs.
Oh, is he?
He's got one tablet recording him while he's playing a game on the other tablet. And he's
Oh
talking
my
about it,
God.
he's live streaming. It's hilarious.
That
Oh,
is
that's so cool.
sweet.
Yeah.
He wants to game so bad. So his games that he wants to do are Fortnite
Yep.
and Minecraft
I'm
because
building
that's
him
what the
first
kids in
PC,
this class
So I'm
do.
gonna unleash him on David and let him try to wrangle him.
Oh, okay.
Put him on Tech Bandits.
Yeah,
Xander
do
will
it.
be so lost. He'll be like, "What?" Like
it's-
he'll be like, he'll actually hold his own, but you won't know what he's talking about.
If you want to, I can put him on the Discord too, because that's honestly a lot of the kids don't like to do the actual streams. It's too long and boring for them. But
okay.
they'll just message me or Baz or someone in the Discord too if he's interested in that at all.
Okay.
And it's just the Tech Bandit server is just for the kids and a select
Right.
few. So
Yes,
yeah.
that would be really
actually, I
nice.
should give you guys access to it too, because then you could just double check, make sure everything's good.
Yes. Yeah, make sure he's on check. Yeah, he gets a little ahead of
Oh, he'll
himself
be fine.
sometimes.
Believe me. Half the fun of Tech Bandits is that a lot of the kids who it appeals to are I always feel like the kids who are probably the hardest ones to have in your classroom are probably the best Tech Bandits, right?
I would imagine so. I was telling Barnacules about that because he was saying the other day on stream that he wasn't very smart. He was in special ed or whatever. I'm like, no, you were just really intelligent. You were out of the realm of what they could teach you, in my opinion. And I totally agree with that. That it's he was on a different plane. In my
It's like a teaching style too. I think that some people can sit in a room and do work the traditional way, and other people just can't. I couldn't. I don't know what it was. I just well, I mean, there was definitely. I'm sure I was definitely not as clever as a lot of the kids I was in school with. But at the same time, I just hated it. I hated sitting in a desk.
School, but I didn't always get it. I'm one of those weirdos that I figured out, and this was way after the fact, and I know it about Xander, so I get to help him, which is fabulous. That
Right.
it's weird if I know the answer, I can work my way back. So for him, he has to be shown it several times, and then he can grasp it, and then he can build from that. But it can't be until he gets that first bit. Like the easy stuff is freaking hard for him. But he can fly and understand everything else in a snap after that. And it's like, this kid amazes me, but he just needs that first initial, this is what it is, this is how you do it, this is why, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. And then also for testing, it's a very interesting because he needs to be read the information and understand it the way that it should be asked instead of, why is the color, this color, when it, they're really just asking, what it is, but they're asking it in such a funny way that it's like, or they're saying it in a completely different way, and it's like when they should just be direct, and it's like, what is this? And specifically, what is the name of this? And he's like, oh, it's this, and he knows like everything they're asking him, but they end up asking it in such a funny way that he's like, what are they saying? And I used to do that too in tests. I'm like, B.
I would find I would overthink things. I would go round and round in circles and go like, wait, do they mean this, or are they trying to trick me, or are they like that seems like the answer, but how do I know?
A couple of answers down, I'm like, oh, what if they meant this? Flip back. Oh, X, and then circle. So your wife has made all of her cakes, right? That's what you said.
She does.
Working on them.
So she does. We have a fight about this every year, and she will spend what I think is an absolute fortune on ingredients and make literally 30 of these cakes, and then ship them all over the freaking world to friends and family.
Cool.
Except that the postage is insane, and I'm such a Grinch. I'm like, we're spending $100 to send a freaking cake? That's ridiculous.
Per cake.
And she's like, look, that's all I send them.
That's true.
So they're
for the whole year, you got to think about that.
That's it. I try not to though. I'm like, she's like, it's to your sister. I was like, my sister's not worth it.
Yes, she is. She's beautiful.
Sorry, one second. I got to plug this back in. What have I done? I've got these stupid headphones. I love these headphones, but I have to keep recharging them, thus making the whole, wireless
interesting.
thing.
I said don't read it.
I did read it.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
It's not true. That guy lies. That Barnacules guy lies.
You know what's funny about the IEPs?
This list
they always
banned Barnacules Nerdgasm. He's lying in chat.
That's it. You just got banned by your own mods. The IEP thing is interesting to me because they always say, like, does your kid have like an independent education program or whatever they call it? And I'm like, shouldn't every kid? Because the reality is nobody learns the same way. We all have different ways of learning. Like,
True.
The problem I think is that they're still, even though we live in a world where things can be tailored so much easier than it used to be, they're still just trying to just do the general education thing, which I just don't think works.
It doesn't work for anybody, to tell you the truth, because I sit back and I watch these other kids because I'm usually sitting there with Xander when he's in school, and it's like there's other kids that aren't grasping things, or they don't quite understand the things that he understands, or behave even the way that he was taught to behave. Not by me, but like by therapists.
Right.
He's a therapy kid. And there are pros and cons, obviously, with, being in therapy. But, for him, it's like he was taught how to speak, and like he speaks really well to adults. And like he can hold his own conversations, and other kids, he'll talk to somebody, they'll just stand there and they'll stare, or they'll walk away, and it's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And if that was Xander, I'd be like, say something. And he did that the other day, and it was a little surprising. We went to the post office, and I went in to drop off something, and he was with me, and he's like, a kid said, hi, what's your name? And I just ignored him. I'm like, why? You turn around and you say, hey, my name's Xander, what's yours? Or mom, hold up. Like we're nice people. You stop and you say hello. If somebody's trying to speak to us in this pandemic, we stop and we say hello. We don't hug them, but we say hi.
Well, wait till you get to the teenage, because that's a whole other thing. That's when they just respond in grunts.
And I don't know if I'll have that with this kid. I mean, he's already gotten a little sassy, but that's because I think he's learning it from other kids. This is the evil thing with Xander, is he is a sponge, and he will absorb whatever anybody else is saying. And it's like, no, don't listen to that. And he'll copy, and he's like a parrot. So some kid will say something obnoxious, rude, or annoying, and he's over there with the mic off, luckily, and he's like repeating what they're saying. I'm like, stop, come up with your own stuff. Be annoying of your own way. But
come up with your own annoying.
Exactly. And he's learning, he's trying. But it's like, it's okay. I mean, I try and be like, you're a kid, I understand. But it's neat to see how, like, even what the teacher said, she's like, you're such a nice person, and you're very, uplifting to others. And like most of the kids are, but some of them are a little like, dude, you need a hug? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Baz, I think one of the most important things, one of the things I'm most proud of when I see Baz's report cards is that they he's a nice kid, that people like him. And I'm like, that's honestly like, that'll get you, almost get you further in life than a lot of other things. So
yeah, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna.
But let me go.
Right. Yeah. I am pretty nice, and I'm accommodating, and you have
to be. You're married to Barnacules.
Exactly, and I'm always kind, and I respond, and I don't just sit on my booty when I'm at work either. I'm like, how does this work? Why are you doing it this way? Why aren't you doing it this way? I contribute, kind of thing, and so that's what I say. Like if I go to get a job or whatever, that like I'm not just going to be a little mindless. It's not my job. Kind of thing. That's not part of. It's like, no, we help each other. We we get to do all of that wonderful things, and so that's what I try and bring. But it's.
You'd be amazed at how often that isn't a big part of the upbringing, though.
I know, and I want to have that for Xander, because I'm like, dude, you're gonna learn how to count change back to people, whether or not we don't have change in the future anyway. It is surprising when I go to places and their computer is down or something like that. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, count to 100.
Yeah.
If I give you 739, then you start counting up to 100 until you get to the dollars. And
so
then
that you get like,
are you serious? You don't know how to count back money? Or
I don't think we're going to have coins, though, are we? I mean, especially after the pandemic.
But still,
you do need to still count to 100.
Yeah, you should still learn how to do that and know how to do that.
Yeah.
If something happens, or at least keep a calculator by.
Right.
I was gonna say, do you ever worry though that, because I always worry that like you teach the kid to be polite, you teach the kid to be sort of not humble, not to brag and all that. But at the same time, I worry a little bit that you go like, but what about our kids that just grab what they want or go to the front of the line? Do they end up doing better? Like, should I be telling my kid he's unstoppable and
a little
I don't know,
right? That's what I wondered too, and I'm like, okay, so maybe if you're too good and you're too quiet and you're following the directions, then you're not being heard.
Yeah,
I know. I was literally just thinking about that.
I'm torn on it because I find myself like with Baz, we decided with Baz that Baz there were gonna be no secrets. If there was gonna be, if there are things that we're uncomfortable talking about, we're just going to say we're uncomfortable talking about this, but this is what it is, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Be honest.
And that's it. But at the same time, and one of them is like, but one of the things I keep finding myself, I fall back on the whole kind of like, well, I mean, you're good, but you're, there's that kind of that tendency to sort of not want to give them too much credit, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
I've struggled with morality.
Yeah.
And like, because like, as I've gotten older, I have learned that, for one, morality is a very personal and subjective sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And is it right for me to, like, how much of my own personal code do I show to the girls?
Sure.
And because it works for me, I'm comfortable with my own moral code and how I approach the world and treat other people and stuff. But does that make it right? Like, I'm a good person. I'm not trying out there to hamstring people and things like that. As you guys know, I'm a pretty decent person, but at the same time, I am fully understand and accept the gray of morality, right? Like, I've done some things that people would judge me for very poorly.
Definitely.
But they don't understand like the context or the story.
Oh, sorry.
But like, and so like when the girls, in particular the teenager, comes to me and like, well, what should I do about this? And I'm like, well, I know what I would do. But like, is that the right thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Or things. What I was thinking is that you would follow up with, this is how I see it. This is how I handle it. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Because, that is the other thing is like, I've been trying to do that too. Of like, because I do this a lot where this is what you should do. You should, apologize, or this is how you should handle this. And then I sometimes forget. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a human. He needs to have his own thoughts about this. Like, what do you think? How do you think you should handle this? And sometimes his ideas are better. I'm like, you've got a point there, dude.
Bass is pretty good with the punishment stuff. Like if something goes wrong or he does something that he knows, like he fails a test, he knows that he should have studied for or whatever. Then we got to the point now where we just go like, okay, so what do we do? And he says, I guess I don't game for a couple of days or whatever. And he's pretty good about that. But again, there's a part of me that goes like, I didn't study.
You get hot doing this.
Sorry.
Oh, really? What is it? Because of the computer, you get
I don't know if I'm allergic, and like his color saturation makes it look a lot worse than it is.
He's done some serious color saturating, to be fair.
Oh my gosh, when he was wearing this, it looked like neon. Red is not supposed to look
neon. Oh my god, that is so red.
Saturations.
Like, look at that. I mean...
You want to turn the saturation down?
No,
he's messed up. Okay. He's messed up the saturation.
Oh yeah, you're getting a heat rash, babes.
Oh, I think it's this. I might be allergic to goose.
I'm not sure. I think you are.
Goose?
Maybe you're allergic to Twitch. No, what is in Twitch?
What am I YouTube. To Twitch? YouTube. No, it's every time I wear this thing, I notice there's a rash there. I should stop wearing it. I wash it. That's not the issue, but...
You have sensitive skin.
I don't know.
It's been... it has been right difficult for me when it comes to the kids, especially school. Because, like, again, I've learned that through 34 years of experience that, like, school, college, blah, 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 it's important, but it's not, like, number one. You know what I mean?
That's what I agree. And I'm like, everything's going to work out.
I don't want to perpetuate
for sure.
This pressure of like you need to go to 4, 8,
go to university.
12. Yeah, I don't, because it's super not true. Like you don't, you really, really don't. Most everything that is worthwhile can be learned for free. We're in the best information sharing age of all time. You can learn anything you want. The paper just shows that you know, like, really the basics.
Exactly. Like that is a basic.
Most everything you're going to get a job for, they're going to teach you specifically what they need for that job.
That's why, like, you don't go just... What is it called? Where it's, like, specific. You go to...
like vocational training?
Exactly. I mean, I went to one of those, but I could be biased. But, like, it's cool to have, something specified. Like, I think needs to be a couple of things, because something that I would have been more, it's probably just from being in a small town, but like to have had one of those job fairs where it's like, this is what you could, do. And like, I didn't know I liked cooking. My parents didn't. My dad had to like cook for his parents. They had a restaurant, and so he had to peel potatoes. Like, I don't want my daughter having to do that. I don't want her learning how to cook. And then my mom, like, oh, okay. And she didn't have me come into the kitchen. I watched a lot and I enjoyed cooking, or eating, I mean. And I didn't actually learn how to cook until I lived with Jerry. And I started off with like mac and cheese and ramen. And then I
haven't moved beyond that.
Right? Exactly. And he doesn't have to, because I make him everything. And now I have like every appliance in the world, and I have all these tools, and I love cooking and baking. I love baking the most. And
JT's saying Jane loves baking.
Cinnamon rolls. Oh man.
And then that's the problem. You bake them, then you got to eat them.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But then I got this Instapot, and these people. I'm on an Instapot like Facebook group, and they're called Potheads. I love it.
Oh, I love it. That's cool.
It's awesome. We're potheads, and they learned how to proof dough in the Instapot, and this knowledge killed me, because I'm like, I can make cinnamon rolls.
Oh,
that have been
good.
Proofing for like the real deal. And they come out so fluffy. The last batch I made was just like, oh my god.
Oh, I got to try that. Because I've been making tons of bread.
Exactly. Oh yes. And you
can proof bread in the Instapot.
Do the yogurt setting if you have a yogurt setting, because it's just like a really low. If you do it too high than a yogurt setting, then it kills the yeast, and then it won't grow. So, oh my gosh. So, and then the other trick, like if you have an older one, you can turn it on for like, I don't know, 3 minutes or so on saute or whatever, and then turn it off, and the heat from that's what I did when I had an older Instapot.
And that'll just maintain the heat long enough that you can actually make your...
And you just, put a lid on it and let it grow. Oh my gosh, and it was just a game changer. And I'm like, this is so cool. So now I can make, cinnamon rolls in like an hour. I mean, it's just crazy.
For us, we got the food delivery stuff where you get all the ingredients, but you still cook it yourself. And that's been amazing for me because all of a sudden I like it. Because I've realized a big part of the stress for cooking for me was prep. Not like going like, do I have that? I don't even know what that is. What's that label? Everything's labeled. It's like idiot proof. And it's like,
it's like Food Network style, where everything's prepped for you. And you're like, oh yeah. And then you just add this and then you just add this and it's all prepped. And it's like, that is so cool. Oh, Gaming Central. Thank you for the 1
pound. That's a British pound. Whoa! Holy moly!
Sleeping on a couch. Sleeping on a fucking couch.
Poof.
He thinks it's so funny. I know. I wish you guys could see him. He's cracking up over here.
How did you not see me put that behind you?
That was pretty great.
I'm usually not oblivious.
Really cool.
I feel really stupid right now.
That's a highlight. You want to highlight that?
Oh yeah, if we could clip that, that'd be great.
No, Mrs. B, you look like it was like the arrival of the Sith or something.
Been paying attention.
Star Wars. It was amazing.
It's like those blow-off valves that you see on the race cars.
Payback's a bitch. That's
the NOS valve.
It's like they'd initiated shutdown.
He's in trouble indeed.
Guys, I'm sleeping on the couch for 1 pound. That's how much of a cheap whore I am. I don't even get
you should have waited for a higher amount, and I would be like, that's okay, I understand. $1?
Yeah, 1 pound.
You did it to me on $1.
He's like, it's only a pound. It's not worth the marriage.
I'm cheap, but I'm not that cheap.
YouTube takes it.
Guess what we're eating tonight? The most expensive place in town.
Oh.
Oh, did you go and get coffee?
Well, I was out. I went to the bank this morning, and after picking up Krispy Kreme donuts, yes, they're downstairs.
Oh.
Actually, they're in the car.
That's still
so there was a fundraiser for the middle school, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're coming to town. I'm gonna get some. And so I went and swung by there. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bank afterwards. So then I did that, and then I'm like, oh, he needed a coffee. I was thinking of him. He wasn't thinking of me earlier. And and so then I got him a coffee. Now I regret it.
Oh, nice.
You can't take that coffee back.
No, I can't. No, I can't. I'll smell it later. I'll smell it later.
Ignore the chat.
$20 and you'll do it again. That's fine. $20. I'm worth $20.
Hey, you heard it here.
Do it yourself?
Setting the ground rules.
You can let Xander do it. That's fine. He'll love that. He'll think it's hilarious.
Hey, Xander.
Yeah, the next thing you know, you're gonna find that thing set up all over the house.
Thing is, he'll just do it just because, right?
He will do it just because. But he's lazy, so it'll stay up here. So the only time it'll ever happen. I know he'll
while
just
you're
do
up
it.
there. That's true.
But I'll get him back. Don't you worry. I'll post it too. What I did.
We're doing a thing. If somebody super chats $20, I'm gonna let you hit Mama with the fog machine. Okay?
Not hit me.
No, not hit her.
Just push the button.
I got the remote.
Let's be very clear.
We need to be clear with this kid because he's literal just like me.
Bubba, I'm gonna hand you this remote. Do not push the buttons. Okay? Do not push the buttons until I tell you to. Okay? Do we understand?
This isn't going to go well.
Okay, repeat back to me. What do you do? Do not touch the buttons. Okay, here you go.
Xander's go-kart is awesome. So right now we have the couch set up, and I can't get the go-kart through. So I've got a plan. The couch is out a little bit. I'm going to bring it back and push it in. So hopefully I can start. I can't lift it up. Over my head. So
what's the cart?
It's a go-kart from Razer. So we were so fortunate last Christmas, and Walmart sent him 2 go-karts, and he loves them, and he zips around, and there's like a little flag and everything. And he has a blast with them, but it's been pinned behind the couch. And because my couch goes all the way up to my hutch, and it's like I don't think that I'd have to like lift it up over, and I can't lift anything past this.
Huh.
And then so I don't know how I'm going to get it through. I could get a dolly. Maybe I'll try that. I'll get the dolly out and I'll stick it on there. And then, because then I could get it through. I could get it through sideways. I just can't lift it up and walk.
How did it get wedged in there?
Well, it's not wedged. It's behind the couch. The couch is taking up the living room. So it's on the other. I shouldn't say it's stuck. I should say it's on the other side of the couch.
It's being stored.
It's because that's where the plug is. So, and it's all charged up and everything.
Right.
But I rearranged the couch to make room for. Oh boy, I made room for the tree. Okay, good. They're gonna keep
That's $5. Is that enough?
$5. Thank you. Speaker.
I mean, thank you,
$49.
speaker.
Only do $19.99 from here on out, peeps. If you're gonna, tip.
Securing the Bitcoin ledger with math equals trustless.
Well, so I get that, right? Trustless because there's no like personal entity or whatever, but you still have to there's still trust in the system. There's still trust in the confidence of the confirmation. Like you still there's still trust, but maybe not in the economic.
Belief. You just believe there's value to it.
Oh no! Oh no! Hold on. Wait for the animation.
Wait for the animation. Hold on. Wait for the little.
Oh boy,
it's coming now.
Here you go. Oh boy.
Wait for the animation. It's coming up.
Ready? You'll see the zombie.
Oh, he's on the.
I'll do the dance. I'll do the zombie dance when it shows up. Ready? Ready? Ready, zombies? Come on, zombie. Xander zombie coming up any second.
It takes a while.
It does. It's like it's really slow.
Oh, the kitties are in here. Both of them are in here.
Hi,
Oh man, Moo's
the cats are gonna freak.
Hi, Momo.
That is $20 worth of entertainment about to happen right here. Come on, zombie.
Oh, she's gonna jump so
Oh,
hard.
honey. Oh wait, the window's not open. Okay, good. Whew, that scared me.
It jumps out the window.
Yeah, there's a thing.
All right. For some reason, the notification didn't pop up. So Xander, it just at some random interval, you can push the button whenever you want. Whenever you want.
There it is. There it is. Go, Xander, go. Go.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. Push one of the other buttons. Get her with another one.
Oh my.
Hold on. We're suffocating Mama.
Oh my God.
You're suffocating Mama.
Wow.
It's like a Cheech and Chong movie.
It's nice though because it is a little warm.
There you go. Sorry, I didn't expect that.
Whoa, 200 sex.
We gotcha.
Yes, you did.
Zombie. Well
good.
done, Sam. Nicely played.
What are those are like the Swedish kroner, right?
How did you not see that coming, kid?
Oh my God, I did not see that coming.
Where'd the cats go? Did it scare them? They ran.
Wow.
Probably.
Wow.
Where did the cat go? You'll never see that cat
Good
again.
job, Xander. Good job, buddy.
That's so great.
He had a good time.
Oh, he loved
That reminds me, though. I should go see my kid.
Oh, right, I know they make you miss them when they come and visit.
I know. It's like I'm like I
fun.
want to go hang out with my kid, even though he's like the nicest thing I could do to him right now is just ignore him. But I should probably go and say hi.
Hey, sweetie.
But you
Because
gotta sometimes do what's right for you. What?
Can you breathe okay?
Yeah.
I can breathe
Okay,
fine.
awesome.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I got surprised the first one, obviously.
I didn't think he was gonna push it like 4 times. I thought he was gonna push it twice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're the victim here, Barnacules. Yeah.
It was worth it. That was fun. Now that I know what it's about, like, my gosh. He usually can't pull one over on me. I'm usually like, so we've got this really fun thing that we do every night. If Jerry gets up, Barnacules, excuse me.
No,
if he gets up,
honey, I actually prefer it when you. Call
okay,
me
good. I like calling you Jerry. It's hard to call you Barnacules.
Okay.
It's a hard one to say.
It's weird. So when Jerry gets up and he goes out to the kitchen and gets something, you'll hear these little pitter patter little feet, and he comes running and books it into our bed.
Xander does.
Sits next to me. Xander does, and he's like, and then he pretends to sleep, and then if Jerry's upstairs doing a show or something like that, we hear him close the door, and he starts making his way down the stairs, and we're like, go pretend you're sleeping, and then we both pretend we're sleeping wherever we are, even if we're at a table, we just like. We pretend. We're like, and then he's like, "Oh, you two are sleeping. Oh, that's too bad." And then we all laugh.
But we have to tell him the favorite part though. What I say that gets him like giggling when he's running to take a spot.
No.
Yeah, like anytime I hear him running, like if I go into the
You
kitchen,
hear this
I hear
little
him,
giggle.
I go no, and he starts giggling and goes running by me.
He's like,
And then
"I
if
got
If I
you."
don't make the sound, what does he do?
What does he do?
So if I don't make the sound, he runs back from the bed and goes, "Daddy." He goes, "No," and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Oh, no, and then he turns and runs.
Like, what are you talking
He's
about?
like, "You're not doing it." But it's
Yeah.
really funny. I think it's really funny when he sneaks and gets it when he does it. He's like, "I got you, haha."
We have such a good family sense of humor.
Oh my gosh, he's a hoot.
Nobody would understand our sense of humor.
They are so much fun to have around. I gotta say.
I don't think I would like not having a kid around. I think he's just too fun.
Yeah, I can't. Well, you can't go back.
I didn't
Once
like
you
kids
got 'em.
before. Like, you gotta have your own. And then I'm like, yeah, these kids are cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, just because I like my kid doesn't mean I like all kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. There are a bunch of shitty kids out there. Pardon my
There are
French.
some horrible kids out there. It's
Dude.
true.
My lady's like best friend, and and this is okay. She knows.
You want to be careful on this, right?
Right?
Well, look, I'll say it. Okay, if I had to, I'll tell this gal. But this kid, I do not like him. Like most kids, even like precocious or butthead kids are like, yeah, whatever. You can just kind of like let it go. But I genuinely dislike this little guy. I not so far as like I hate him, but he's obnoxious and disrespectful and like a terror. You know,
Do they call him on it?
How old
not
is
as
he?
often as they ought to. I think he's like 8.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, like 8 or 9.
He's a little older.
But-
he should have been
but-
grown out of it by now.
Yeah, right. Like adults talking, and he's like, "Hey, and it's like, hey, give us a second, buddy. Like, I'll get to you. Hang on, we're talking here. Hey, and it doesn't stop. Or like,
Yeah.
Does his parents
breaking
ever speak up
stuff
and say
and-
something to him? Or do
No,
they ignore them? That's why.
I think it's yeah.
Because he never gets the attention he needs.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've seen
And-
it happen, and we actually have a neighbor. Well, not really a neighbor, but we have somebody close by that does that. And it's like, if you acknowledged your kid and told them, I will talk to you in just a moment, they're going to get what they need, and they're going to be like, oh, okay. And then you have to follow through, because if you don't follow through, you're going to get that nagging kid from before.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
but, I can see it. I'm like,
Loud,
oh. So all these kids come to me, and I'm like, yeah, because I acknowledge them.
It's
Stop
like
talking
too
to
much
the kid.
understanding in a way. There's like, I feel like sometimes there's a little too much of the kind of like, well, he's a child. It's like, yeah, he's a child until he's not. And if he's still acting like a child,
No,
like, it's one of the reasons why I don't like kids doing acting when they're younger. Because I feel like at an age when they're supposed to be learning to be responsible adults,
Sure.
they're being rewarded for acting like stupid children. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I agree.
Yeah, because like the separation of like the fiction of the character and the reality of who they are
Like, if
is
you
Yeah.
did that in real life, you know how many eye rolls you would get, or like you can't do that. That's not cute. I've told Dan the other day, I'm like, there's only going to be so long that you can get away with this kind of stuff that you can't keep doing this. Like, it's not going to work forever. You're going to need to start being responsible for your actions. So
at the same time, my son said to me the other day, where he's like, "Oh God, I wish I wasn't 13. I just want to be like older." And I was like, "Dude, let me tell you this. You're gonna be older. You know that's gonna happen. You'll never be 13 again. So figure out what the best part of 13 is and make the most of it now. Because I wish I had. I spent my whole life wanting to be older, and all of a sudden I'm old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like." Although I think I was born to be old, honestly. I think
I know there's some old
age
souls
is gonna
that you
suit me.
can't. Yeah.
I feel that way. I've been bored, and like I've done this before for a long, cynical almost for a very long time. I still enjoy life. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But like,
wouldn't it be
so
cool to be
much of it-
13 again and play games and not do anything?
There's
But
definitely
even
stuff
then-
there's definitely stuff but the weird thing is that at 13, even if they didn't seem serious to your parents, you still had the same anxiety and stress about things that you don't realize aren't important until later.
and I've had to catch myself about that, like downplaying the things that the kids find, like
I should do
anxiety.
that same.
Yeah.
And things. And it's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal. Like, you're in this part of your life. You have all of this much left. Don't worry about it. No.
Doesn't work. Yeah.
Look, heck, there are still things today that I stress about that I know I shouldn't, that are silly, negative, just fake stuff that I just worry about. And like, it's real to me, right?
And I might not find it very, I might not find it as stressful as you do either. Like, even as an adult, I'm like, get over it. You're fine. Just do this, whatever. And that's really, it's
hard.
That's why I keep trying to
moment.
remind myself he's a human too.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's really good thing to think about.
It was one of the things that I remembered as a kid was like how when grown-ups or parents would sort of dismiss your concerns, it was always like, you don't understand. And it's like, I remember thinking even back then, when I have a kid, I want to make sure that if that kid's worried about something, that we'll worry about it. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Barnacules. You're a marketing madman. You know what? I should probably run. Speaking of children, I should go and spend some time with them.
There's only another couple minutes left. That's fun. That's cool, man.
Oh, really? Oh, wait a second. What do we normally go until?
Until 1.
Oh, we go till 1.
Yeah.
Oh, then that's like. Oh, then I'll wait till then. That's
like 7 minutes.
That's fine.
Okay.
It's almost 4 here. That's why I was like, so I wasn't sure what the. I don't know. I haven't got the schedule down right.
Who does? Right? Like.
Yeah, we start late, we end early. Who knows what goes on around here?
Just like
go until you're hungry.
Oh my gosh!
Until you're hungry or you miss somebody.
Are you kidding? It's like a thing I eat on stream all the time.
I know. I wish I could get him to eat because I think that then he would actually get some food in him. He gets up and he eats and then he gets ready for a show and then on the other platform he goes forever and then he gets off and then it all comes crashing down and then he's hungry and then he's angry and it's like just eat here, have some food, calm down. I'll see you in 5.
To keep that blood sugar up, especially when you're going for
with that hangry Hewlett's, man. You do not want to. They on set they used to have chocolate bars for me because if I started getting hungry, it's like get it.
Good.
I've always liked to have snacks nearby.
I should get him like some snack jars now that you guys say that. And I'll just have some just some little jars because if I give him the whole thing of nuts, he'll eat them all. Yeah. That sounded really gross, but whatever.
I do like eating nuts.
Salty.
There you
Put
go.
them in my mouth.
Hot ones.
Couldn't let it go. Couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
But anyway, if I do that, then maybe he'll get some food in him because he gets a little crabby. So do I, though, to tell you the truth.
A little,
exactly.
A scoop of chocolate protein powder in the coffee.
Oh, really? Does that work?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like chocolatey, so you got like a chocolate mocha coffee, and it's protein, right? It's like a protein powder.
I have a question about that. Now, if you put the protein powder in there, does it kill any nutrients that you should get? Because if you do it hot, or do you do it cold?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because it will kill nutrients, but I don't know about protein. Protein can be hot, right? Because you eat meat.
Yeah, I don't think protein, but yeah, if you're putting some of the other stuff in there, like they have like veggie powders and stuff, that might. Yeah. But yeah, I used to do that all the time. A scoop of protein, or back in the day, I used to do that Soylent, right?
I used to love Soylent.
We had that in the house for a while.
I got fat. That was my problem. James stopped me taking it. I would have it as well as a meal.
I'd put that in my coffee for breakfast, essentially, and it wouldn't keep me totally satisfied because I'd still get hungry like another couple hours later. But it was great.
Right.
Yeah.
There was I don't know like those folks who can actually like live a day on it. I couldn't do that.
I couldn't do that either. I
just crave food too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Not without like oatmeal or something.
I wish I could just take a pill and eat. That'd be amazing.
Well, I don't think I'd still do that because I really like eating food. Like I like melted cheese, and you can't melt cheese in a pill.
Cheese.
I love cheese and bread, and
I once had at a convention, a guy showed up and he worked at a cheese store, and he brought me like 3 giant cheeses, and I ate like the entire thing that night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not alone. My family.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the cheese dreams. Cheese dreams.
Oh
so
man.
Good.
Oh, that would be tough.
Yeah. I love it.
But it's funny, but Flanagan talks to people about wine, and so people bring him wine. He's like, "Why did you mention something good?" I was like, "I like cheese and chocolate,
right?
I'm fine with that.
Cheese and crackers, you have a meal.
Yeah,
I'm good.
But it's bad for you though, isn't it?
Everything's bad. I mean, if you eat a ton of cheese, that is bad. If you eat a ton of lettuce, that is bad. Everything in moderation is just fine.
Yeah, that's my problem, is the moderation part.
Mine too.
Yeah, I don't know. I've gotten pretty good about it over the years.
I have
really.
But, yeah, like because so my lady likes to lean kind of toward the vegetarian side of things, and I'll eat anything, so like it's not that big a deal. And so just following her pattern of kind of eating less or like watching calories and things, but I still basically eat anything I want. Yeah, I'll snack when I kind of feel like it, but I'll only eat 2 Oreos or whatever, that kind of a thing. I try to measure out.
And like, night snacks. Yeah, those things. I love those little snack bowls. Those are perfect. Right?
That's smart though. Yeah.
Stop eating after 9 or whatever. Don't eat anything crazy big after 9 o'clock or too close to bedtime.
Pasta's the thing that like gets me. I do have a sous vide faux pas teas.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to make a prime rib in my sous vide. around Christmas. Yeah, so I'm
The
excited.
sous vide is the thing that just basically boils the thing at the right
It's a water
temperature.
bath, so you seal the whatever you're cooking. I've done the egg bites in the sous vide, and it's where you seal it and then you cook it in a warm bath. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then you pull it out of the bag after it's done cooking for, it's a slow cook kind of thing. And then you sear it.
Hey, honey, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to do it anymore. The battery's dead in the remote.
Oh, the battery's dead.
Oh, there you go, man. That's just.
I'm going to pass out.
Xander
yelled at me. He said, please stop. I'm sorry, Xander.
Thanks, Xander.
I think I need
was open.
food-related content. Hey, I like food a lot.
It was $30 Canadian, which is like 50 cents US.
I said I was fine with it. I was covering myself, but I ate it. That's not cool. That $30 is mine.
Again, as long as it's not inhaled, it's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're not breathing it in, you're fine.
I hope they couldn't hear that.
I couldn't hear. I didn't hear you, so it's all good.
Okay, good.
What did he say?
Couch to the doghouse.
Did anybody hear him?
I hope they didn't hear that.
No, I didn't hear.
Tell me what it was, Krillin. Like your life depends on it.
Going in the chat.
Okay,
I like the Kenneth D's quote for 2020.
No. I had my mouth open and I tasted it.
That was I didn't use black inside the mouth like that. I just figured for 30 pounds or 30 Canadian dollars, which is like 75 cents US, I couldn't have you like blocking that
It's going up. It's 75 cents now.
Yeah. Well, it changes. Forex stuff.
Because we're sellouts now, honey. We're sellouts.
Of course we're sellouts. He's the worst, though. That's why he runs the show.
I love it.
That's it.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. I'm gonna try to make this.
That's $30 is mine.
Lasagna soup. I want that.
Yeah.
Lasagna soup. I've been wanting to make that for real. It sounds so
I found
good.
a
lasagna soup.
It's an Instapot recipe.
I want that.
Lasagna soup.
Yeah, I want to try that.
I just got baguettes from Costco this morning. Now, that sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I always go to food. Whenever I get on,
food.
I love food.
Food's my favorite topic.
Yeah.
I have a fondue pot. I mean, I love
the fondue. It's too much of a pain. I love the idea of the fondue.
How is it a pain? You put broth in and you put your garlic in and then you put the cheese in. How is that a pain?
Because you can't get the pieces big enough to get as much as I want in one go. You have to do little tiny bits at a time.
You need a ladle and just put your food inside of the ladle and then get the cheese.
I need like a bulldozer. I want to be able to take a handful of that cheese with a half a loaf of bread. That's the way to go.
So then you need to actually switch not to fondue, but the cheese that melts. What is that melting cheese?
Oh, the fountain. The cheese fountain.
No. The cheese that you can cut that, have you ever seen that where they have this wheel of cheese? They cut it in half. They put it under a broiler and then they take it out.
That's brie.
And then it's not.
Oh.
And then they pour it onto this
talking
food.
about.
Yeah, what is that called?
They'll heat up like
is that how you call it? Raclette, Jim the Evo? Thank you.
Evo.
Oh my god.
That's our dungeon master.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, what's
up? Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So that cheese, oh my gosh, every time I see it, I'm like, I could just pour that into my mouth.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like this gravy, like this lava flowing cheese that you pour on
god. Now I'm hungry too. Okay, I gotta go make my son dinner.
Right.
Or lunch. Yep. What is it?
About that time. For you, it's probably dinner-ish.
Yeah.
Early
we've been doing that
old man, are you having dinner at 3 or 4?
We've been doing the snacks all day, so we haven't really had a little bit here, a little bit there.
I love snacking all day. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, because it's our first day of holiday, right? It's Baz's first day of holiday. So we're kicking back.
Xander's. Yep.
It's like the nicest thing you could possibly do for Baz right now is just to leave him alone.
Right? Xander slept in this morning too, so I totally get it. I'm like, thank goodness he's needed some sleep.
I tried to sleep in until there was a dog in my face, as always.
Right, yes.
Because the dog needs to be fed. What we forgot to realize in our excitement about that we didn't have to get up every morning is that we still have to get up every morning because the dog, you can't tell the dog.
That's the thing.
Man.
I would want a doggy door and a fence so that, if you need to pee, you go do your business and leave me alone.
Yeah, I think I need the fog machine to scare the dog off it.
And then pee
First
all
thing in
over
the
the
morning.
floor. Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's just like, she comes in the morning, I just like hit the button,
Aw.
steam her out of there.
I saw the picture of her sleeping with Baz. Oh my gosh, that was
Isn't that
Picture.
cute?
so
I had to
cute.
disturb that. I had to go in and say, come on, it's time to go to school.
Oh yeah, that would
Yeah.
be mean.
That's like I literally destroyed a piece of art.
Yeah, I remember sleeping as a teenager. Boy, that was nice.
Oh.
Before
And
kids,
just
I
remember
had
that
10
feeling
hours.
of having a holiday, that feeling of like, oh my God, there's nothing for like 2 weeks. When 2 weeks felt like it was a long time,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Now it's like 2 weeks. Oh my God, it's gonna be over in no time at all.
It will be too. I know. I'm counting down the days. I'm like, it's not very long, but it is. I mean, if you go to think about it, but
They're thinking about extending it for us. They're saying that they may have to extend it because of the COVID numbers.
Oh yeah.
Because it's picking up here, and they're worried that of course Christmas is going to be,
is when
everyone's
it's
gonna
gonna bloom even more.
well, because everyone's going to start going like, well, we got a vaccine, so
Right,
you know.
exactly. People, see, I wonder the same thing. And our school district over here is thinking of phasing and having kids go back to school. I'm like, guys, it's too early. But they're like, oh, well, we promise we're going and looking at other schools and we're going to do it the right way. And it's like, we're going to get kicked back again. They keep trying this. This is going to be the third time that they're trying it. We're going to get kicked back. I just know it. And it's like, just wait. Like,
I keep joking that we're so stupid. We don't deserve to make it through this. Like, I can't believe
I know,
how
right?
like that so much of the population is still not like, even in Canada. I mean, Toronto, not even in Canada, but I mean, even in Toronto, I'm like, which I thought was like quite a forward-thinking, progressive city. I go out with a dog, and it's like I still get funny looks for wearing a freaking mask. I'm like, well, I don't know who's gonna ask for directions. Who's gonna say, hey, what kind of dog do you have? I want them.
Yeah.
I need a mask.
Yeah.
I don't want to breathe on them.
Wow.
Like when I'm on set, I'm seeing like 250 people or whatever that admittedly they're all being tested and stuff, but I'm more of a risk to them than they are to me.
Right.
I'd like, even just if they wear a mask themselves, they should. Well, I say that though. Most of the people running around without masks probably are at risk because they're probably not doing other things as well. So
it's a little shocking, and I see things on our post over here too, and it's like, they just, it's such a joke, and it's like, well, wait until it happens to your family.
Right?
And then and it keeps happening, and you see these people doing interviews. I used to think it was a joke, and it is not a joke.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is not a joke. And it's like, when are people gonna learn? If we, it just
people say like, do you know anybody with COVID? I was like, yeah, I've like there's people. There's lots of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I think it's almost become like the way we think about life, that we are the exception. Everyone seems to think they're the exception to everything that happens in life, including death. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like, so I think it's almost like the logical extension of
Oblivion.
this feeling of not having. What was that? Of what?
Oblivion. It's just like, exactly. Like, I keep seeing, I don't know why, but this cancer for kids, I'm going to get deep here just for a second. DIPG. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I keep seeing, and it's probably because I keep clicking on these poor kids, and it's a brain tumor that can't be operated on, and it can just be delayed. But it's the inevitable. They always, if it's not in a year, it's before then that they go. It's terminal, and it's like this darn thing. And it's like, I keep looking at the age range. I'm like, okay, he's fine. But then there was a teenager that got it, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want it to happen, but I feel like it could happen at any moment, one of those cancers or something like that. And it's like, it worries me. But I also, I tell Xander this all the time. I'm like, you can't live in the worry. We can't worry until something happens.
Well, that's the same thing, like with COVID too. Like you've got to be.
Like who's going to take care of them, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
There's a risk. There's a risk to just living life. There's a risk to leaving the house every day, no matter whether there's a pandemic or not.
True.
It's just about being smart and responsible and aware of other people. I think that's the other thing, isn't it? You want to be looking out for other people as well. So, people act like diseases don't evolve. Ha.
Yeah.
The problem is diseases do evolve.
Exactly. This is going to mutate, and what's it going to be? And like, it's going
That's
to
already in
stronger.
England. Apparently, in London, they've already got a variant there as well. Yeah, but who knows? I mean, again, like we're also look how on the plus side, look how fast we got a freaking vaccine.
Right, I know,
and like
right?
a crazy
Brilliant.
new mRNA one. Like we don't even have to inject dead virus anymore. We're injecting like the instructions to create.
I love
virus.
that.
It's so
I love that.
cool.
Cool.
I read through the thread of like how these things work, and it's like it's not like you said, it's not even the dead virus anymore.
Yeah.
It's the instructions for how to attack one particular protein that the virus uses to inject itself into other cells. I'm like, that's amazing.
So
Right?
cool.
How cool is that?
That'd
As
be
the school was complaining about being bored in science because he's doing the cell. I'm like, dude, we're like
You don't
creating like those aren't cells. That's like that is your robot of the future. Those
Yeah.
are like
You know what the
those are-
power is of that?
It's so cool.
Definitely.
Cool.
I feel man, I look in a way as depressing as it can be. I'm also like I wish I was a kid now to some extent because I feel like this is going to open up. There's going to be a whole new world of like online stuff that wasn't available before. That there's going to be all sorts of telecommuting stuff. There's going to be all sorts of biomed stuff. It's like really cool. I'm
Definitely.
All right, I should run.
Gonna have to. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
We got to wrap it up. So we'll just do the outro. We'll say.
Oh, you have an outro?
Yeah. Well, I guess just goodbye, everybody.
You're usually gone by now, so you don't ever get to hear it.
I've left. I've given up long before this.
Right. Well, I don't know. I tend to on my streams. I don't know. We haven't really closed it up too much. Thanks everybody for stopping by and hanging out.
Hit the Steam or something. Hit
Right.
the font machine.
The button is broken, so haha.
Oh, is it broken?
So he says, right? But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out and being awesome as always. I'll just do my normal stuff since it's a habit. Thanks everybody who super chatted and cheered and subs, all that good stuff, whatever the case may be on this channel. It means a lot. It really does help us to keep things going and it lines my pocket a little bit. Why does
I get to talk to Mrs. B.
My heart is not as pretty as your guys's.
You guys,
yeah, I don't.
yes.
There we go.
Can't click at the egg already.
Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you for all the super chats. And here's Barnacules.
And really just being here, taking the time out of the day
That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I think we
this-
might have to put you in as a fourth co-host now on some shows if you'd like.
That sounds good.
Pretty cool.
We're just gonna slowly add people. Like,
Hey guys, long time no see. That was fun.
Hey, Barnacules, what are you streaming?
A show. Hey honey, do you want to hit me? Do you want to blast me before they go
Oh,
to get me back?
Oh yeah.
Okay, get the remote. Okay, lay into me good.
That's you got to end on that. Try to kill
All right.
that.
Oh god, that is nasty. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't realize that was so bad. Oh.
There you go. Hit him again.
Oh, it's bad. Hey guys, thank you for watching Tech Talk today. I want to thank my guest hosts, Mr. David Hewlett and AuxxZillary, aka the Houston Man.
And Mrs. B.
And Miss B, of course, Miss B. She owned the show. Shit, we like doubled our super chat from her.
That's great.
So we will see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad place. 10 a.m. Pacific time here on YouTube/Barnacules1. Until then, you can find each one of us on our own respective individual streams over on Twitch, all linked in the video description. And I think that's about it. Lovers, you guys, long time. Thanks for making our Christmas amazing, and we'll see you again next time. Peace out. Oh, we got to do the thumbnail. The thumbnail, guys.
Oh, do it.
Hold on, everybody.
Super chat came through.
And a super chat. Thank you so much, E. Carlson, for the $5. Okay, so we got to make the. We got to do the what? What did I do?
I love it.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me get up there. I got to do the control. Hold on. Control Shift Escape.
Nice.
Did I get it? Did I get it? Hold on. Oh shit. Oh wow, Houston. Jeez.
Oh,
I love it.
Jeez, man.
He's like,
Wow.
oh my god. All right. I got it. All right, I got the thumbnail, and I'll go ahead and update that. We'll get this processed and online for everybody that missed it, so you can go back and watch the whole show. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.